Well, a very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another Flight Deck to Sim live stream. Today it's the 29th of April, 2022, 4 minutes past 5 in the evening. We're back in Microsoft Flight Simulator. I am in a pre-release aircraft, ladies and gentlemen. The Leonardo Soft House MD80 has landed at Flight Deck to Sim. We love the old MD82 here to Flight Deck to Sim. We've flown the rotate version at X-Plane level 4 or 5 times. I had a love-hate relationship with that aircraft. That love-hate relationship continues as we get round to flying this quintessential MD82 for any desktop simulator. I had heard a developer and their aircraft is well respected and sought after and prepared, and they finally brought it to Microsoft Flight Simulator. It should be out tomorrow for you guys, €75 in the Sim Market store, but today I'm going to show you what it's all about as well. I've been tinkering and tweaking with Microsoft Flight Simulator to get this all set up and ready to go. I have yoke cam finally set up in the sim. In fact, I'm really happy that this all completely works. The airspeed hold, heading track and altitude hold and all the modes on the MCP. The only thing is the reverse thrusters, I couldn't get to bind it correctly for some reason in the simulator. None of the reverse controls there, so I have to do that using the keyboard. But we're going to have a lot of fun today anyway. We are in the Netherlands, Rotterdam, Echo Hotel Romeo Delta. For our inaugural sector, we're going to be flying to Bastia on the island of Corsica. Flight time of 1 hour 45 minutes. We're offline today, just so I can show you all the features of this aircraft. I've been preparing for this stream for the past 3 days or so. I did a tutorial flight and I've done this sector 3 times, so I'm pretty happy with how the aircraft works. Time permitted, I will demonstrate a go around as well. I've been looking at all the SOPs and procedures to fly this aircraft, but do not forget that I'm a 737 pilot, not an MD-82 pilot, so it won't be a perfect SOP technical stream. It's not designed to be a tutorial, it's just my case on it. I'll indeed be looking at chat for all the help and assistance with the aircraft today. Excellent. Right, I'm going to not yoke cam, I'm going to drone cam my way towards the airport. Whilst I'm doing that, let's have a little look at chat. This is the Asobo hand updated picked airport with one of the SimWorld updates, which is why we're flying to Rotterdam and the Orbeck software we have for Bastia. Let's start from the bottom there then. MGS1, thanks for the 12 months. I intentionally ignored all Microsoft Flight Simulator streams to avoid seeing this sim until I buy a new GPU and able to play myself, but you and MD80 broke my resistance. Oh dear. Well, this aircraft is, well, it's the best payware quality aircraft I've flown on the sim today. It's really, really good. So much is modelled. We've got performance calculators. The autopilot and auto throttle system and fly director system seems really accurate. It looks really, really good. Release tomorrow. I thought they announced. Yes, tomorrow I believe it is out. €75, which I think is a fair price for the amount of stuff you're going to get with this aircraft as well. 1903. Assumed they were releasing this month. Pre-release seems a little close. Yes, tomorrow. I'm just reading back all the chat here. Thank you very much, Aubrey Ginsberg, for joining as a member. Glad you enjoyed the content. You get invited to our members in Discord, and I hope you enjoy using the custom emojis in chats. Anyway, there is the beautiful aircraft. I'll let you behold it whilst I see what else we have here in chat today. Loads of you watching already, 360, which is superb. Hello everyone, said Nicholas Van Bacchus. Let's get this bad boy flying, he said. Absolutely. You guys will be disappointed with the sounds and textures. I have to admit, Henry, yeah, the sounds not as I prefer the Rotate XP plus FT Sim Pack for X-Plane 11. I think the sounds here aren't quite as good. The textures I think are pretty good. I think it has been ported from their prepared version, but it's pretty crisp. Looking close to the aircraft, I'm pretty pleased with how it looks anyway. But the sounds are my absolute favourite, if I was. Captain Jarrett, that Maddog is looking fire. Absolutely, Captain Jarrett, it is looking absolutely awesome. This is such a funny aircraft. It's like got a bit of Airbus in it, a bit of Boeing, and then quirky McDonnell Douglas stuff. Just switches where they shouldn't be. It's absolutely crazy. Just be happy. Hi, Captain. Just had my entry day on my 737 type rating. Fantastic. That's fantastic news. Just be happy. Best of luck with your training. And don't forget, all my streams are purely for entertainment, not educational purposes. Ricardo taking the parachute into the office today. Ye of little faith there. Argo, hi boss, looking forward to your professional take on the Classic. Definitely on my wish list, but we'll see what it looks like. I love the content. Cheers from St. Louis, United States. Thank you very much for coming in here, Argo. Good morning to you, I guess. Hope you're doing well. Anthony Teal is here. Lots of moderators. Tim Waters, hope you're doing well, guys. Macho Chewy, haven't seen you for a while. Nice to see you. Very tempted by what I've seen from this aircraft so far. Yeah, it's looking really, really, really cool. Excellent. Right, so let me just reset my drone cam. I have why is my reset drone cam button not working? Every time I get into this sim, it's just getting used to all the buttons again. There we go. Let's have a look at the external model before we jump on in here. I'll turn the music down. So yeah, the quality is I think pretty good. I mean, some people have been critical of the textures, but I think it looks really nice, the external model. When we get to Bastia, I've got to show you at night with high humidity, the logo lights and the lighting on this aircraft is absolutely crazy how good it looks. It's like it's in a movie. I can't believe how good
50,
it looks there.
40,
there's the
30,
same engines that you find in the
20,
737-200.
10.
JD8s, I think they are, something like that. Omri Ginsberg, thank you very much for your donation, sir.
Hi Captain,
Hello.
happy to join. Glad you got to preview this rather than the 737. Hope you'll tame it better than the 247, winking face.
Thank you very much, Omri, for your donation. That's very kind. Yes, as a lot of you, well, I've literally, in the last 2 weeks, obviously we're all aware of the PMDG soon to be released. When that started getting showcased by certain streamers, I was inundated by emails, messages, tweets, Facebook DMs saying, when are you going to get a copy? I have no relationship with Orbex. I did ask very nicely, Rob Rosallo, or whatever his name is, but I didn't even get a response. No response, no acknowledgement. Maybe it's the fact that I've been testing for Zebo for 5 years. I'm not so sure. But when it gets out, I'll be doing lots of flying in it. I'm going to do a launch stream. But anyway, that's for another stream. We'll talk about it another day. I want to talk about the MD80, which I'm looking forward to. Look at the reflections on the fuselage, on the wings. So cool. Pratt & Whitney JT8D, thanks MGS1. Hello, says Aleski Ratas. Thanks for the 5 months membership. I hope you're doing well, buddy. Thank you very much for popping in. Yeah, so here we are. This is the MD82 variant. It has actually quite a lot of seats. It's like 170 odd seats maximum capacity. It's so long. The main gear is so far behind the nose gear. You've got to be really careful taxiing, actually. You've got to overshoot the line loads. This is the stock livery. I think it will come with a number of liveries on launch. I don't actually have access to the preview build with any liveries in the load manager, but I understand it's going to be coming with lots of them there. But yeah, really nice. Always looks like there's a pair of chocks on the aircraft. I've never actually fully understood what that is, but you see them on all the MD82s and MD80s. I think it's something to do with to stop stuff getting sprayed onto the fuselage, perhaps, not so sure. There we are. Very nice external model. The quality is very nice indeed. The livery is already available on the forum. Very cool SK. Yes, I did hear about that, but I got basically a direct download from Stefano, who sent it over to me. It was very kind of him. Excellent. Enric, what the textures were like this? They have updated them, or the YouTuber where I see them had low graphic settings. Yeah, that's what I said. The textures I think are fine. The sounds could improve, but I think there's some limitations for them in this sim. Anyway, let's. We've got a cabin as well. We'll have a look at that later, but we'll just jump into the cockpit now and start getting things set up for the flight. There we are. Ah, such a beautiful, smooth transition. Mr. Seiko, I love your streams, man. Well done. Thank you very much. Now, you know how on this channel we like everything hyper realistic. We're going to follow all SOPs as per my operator's SOPs, make it as realistic as possible. So I'm going to respect landing gates on the approach and things like that. I'm following the tutorial which I found online. It's for the prepared version, which works really well getting it set up. And then I'm using parts of the checklist as well. So the order is a little bit out of sequence, but again, it's just the way the checklist is written. So here we are. We're in the fly deck here. I think the quality is really nice. If you look at all the textures here and the quality, I mean, you've got to be fine complaining a lot if
40,
you're not happy with how that looks.
30,
this
20,
is one of the
10.
nicest interiors I've seen in Microsoft Flight Simulator today. Nice little bit of warm product as well.
What a way to start the bank holiday weekend. Hope you're well, FD2S.
Thank you, Rory Lad, for the 5. That's very kind of you. Thank you very much for your donation. Of course, it's a bank holiday weekend. I didn't even realise. I'm actually on standby today, but so it's a chance I could get called, but very unlikely this time. Fingers crossed that's not the case there. But thank you very much for your donation. I hope you're doing well. So yeah, look, here we are, all looking around here. You know, this looks like it's straight out of Apollo 15 or something. All of this is interactive and opens. Look at this. All the sounds here. You could even open the first officer's window. Looking really nice as well. You've got like a flight bag here, oxygen. But yeah, all the switches seem to work. The circuit breakers are modelled. I mean, it's not the Challenger 650 on X-Plane 11, but it's very well modelled. Anyway, we'll get the windows closed. We'll get the iPad powered up, because another thing you could do on here is choose your own custom wallpaper.
50, 40,
just turn this on
30,
here.
20,
Flying the Maddog X.
10.
Thank you, Ricardo, for the 35 ZAR. I can't remember what currency that is. Thank you.
Some super stalls today, Captain.
Hope not.
Thanks for what is about to be an epic stream. Let's go.
Thank you very
Smile.
much. Appreciate your donation, buddy. No super stalls. You don't want to be stalling a T-tail. Otherwise, you're going to have a loss of airflow over that horizontal stabilizer. We've got I think it has a stick pusher, the MD80 series. So, yeah, hopefully no issues like that today. Fingers crossed. There we are. So, thank you for your donation. We've got the FB open. You can see I've got my custom Flight Deck to Sim logo in the background, so that's pretty cool. You can choose anything you like, of course. And we're going to go here to Aircraft Services. I'm going to start opening the doors. I can't open the stairs yet because I've got no electrical power to the aircraft. Let's get the service doors open, the rear doors open, the aft cargo, mid cargo and forward cargo. We'll open the service door as well. We're going to go to ground, get the GPU connected. And maintenance, I can open the random. That's actually quite fitting. Well, imagine the engineers are having a look at our weather radar. Unfortunately, they would love to have weather radar on this aircraft. It's working for their prepared version, but the Microsoft Flight Simulator's weather model isn't good enough to allow for a realistic weather radar return. So, well, imagine the engineers are having a look at our weather radar at the moment to see if they could fix it. And imagine it can't be fixed. Now, in real life, you can fly without a weather radar. It is in the MEL, and you can dispatch without it, but you've got to be daytime VMC only and no forecast thunderstorm activity at your departure, destination, on and en route, which today is a really nice day to go flying. Weather in Rotterdam's nice. In Bastia, in Corsica, it's clear skies. It's absolutely beautiful there today. So yeah, you can see, look, the quality continues. You've got a beautifully modelled texture of a weather radar in there, and we'll leave the nose cone open whilst we do the setup. Imagine the engineers are trying to fix it for us there. They've specified weather API coming in SU10. That's good to hear. 1903. How do you get this plane? Mumu said. Well, I asked very nicely. The developer said we'd love you to have a copy and showcase it. That's what I did. Perfect. So we've got everything aircraft service wise set up. So I'm going to get some electrical power on the aircraft now. So we'll pop the battery on. And then you've got to rotate this knob as well. That locks it so you can't turn it off accidentally. We'll get the external power connected. There we are. So we have some AC power connected to the aircraft. That ensures the battery isn't going to discharge. I can now actually extend the door now. The stairs, sorry. So aircraft services forward stairs. Comes out rather quickly, but there we are. There, we can now start boarding through the front of the aircraft at least. So that's got some electrical power here. Let me just grab my tutorial PDF to make sure we're doing it all correctly here. External power is connected. And actually, what it does next, it jumps straight into the FMC to load it. Now, just before I do that, I want to get some things configured here on the overhead panel, lighting-wise, and things like that. We're going to do all the tests as per the included tutorial flights. Pretty much we can leave that as it is for now. On the MCP, typical MD80 look, we've got lighting controls by the first officer for the anti-collision light. We'll put the position lights on to show the ground crew we have AC ground power connected to the aircraft. We've got all the hydraulic pump controls down here, so we're going to need these on later. We'll leave the engine pumps on high. We'll put the transfer, actually if you put the auxiliary hydraulic pump on, you'll see, look, hydraulic pressure is increasing for the, I don't know if they called it A and B pressure, but look, it's retracting the flaps which have drooped. We've got 2,400 psi, well nearly 3,000 psi, and if we open the transfer switch, that's going to transfer hydraulic pressure to the other side, so we have hydraulic pressure now for the setup. And we're now going to jump into the EFB because I want to get the passengers loaded, the fuel, the flight plan activated, then we can load that into the FMC. Ah yes, AirRAC out of date, so yeah, it's a January AirRAC. I've updated Navigraph's AirRAC. I use Navigraph's Jeppesen database for Microsoft Flight Simulator. I didn't ask Stefano regarding how you update it in this aircraft. I think it said in the manual all you've got to do is update the Navigraph one, but it hasn't seemed to have worked here. So the good news is I am using the latest AirRAC from SimBrief, and the routing is exactly the same. There's been no changes. And the 321 now, the strobe switch always stays on your right. I remember reading about that. No, one of my members, Edo, told me about this yesterday. You could put the strobe light to both, and there's some sort of air-ground logic system. Basically, the strobes will only flash once the aircraft's airborne, so you can just put the light switch straight to both, which is a nice little McDonnell Douglas-ism. I love that. That's the new word. McDonnell Douglasism. How I wish they would model the flight controls such as the elevators accurately. The MD-80 elevators in park position, for example, would be all over the place due to airflow. Interesting, Cam, I didn't know that. The aircraft is very heavy for me with the yoke. I haven't had much time to fiddle with any of the sensitivity curves, or it's quite a linear line, but yeah, compared to, say, the NG, it feels quite heavy. Right, so let's go to the EFB. Just to show you the setup. Yeah, you've got flight mode and brightness here. Performance we'll do later. So I'm going to go here to the weight and balance. Now, what you can do is you can go to SimBrief, generate your flight plan, and when you generate your flight plan, you know you have a drop-down menu with all the different config files for different aircraft. They have one now for the new MD80 and Microsoft Flight Simulator. Now, if I go here to import OFP, it doesn't fetch it from SimBrief. You just need to download this file, pop it in the aircraft folder, in the Microsoft Flight Sim community folder. But if you put your routing in Echo Hotel Romeo Delta, and we're flying to Bastia, which is Lima Foxtrot Kilo Bravo, if you press confirm, you can see not only will it load the flight plan in the EFB, but it will actually take all the fuel and payload information from SimBrief as well. So you can actually copy all the information directly. Now I'm just going to make some subtle changes because the way I use SimBrief is slightly different to perhaps what they'd anticipate you using on the EFB. I actually like to select a zero fuel weight in SimBrief as opposed to passenger load. So we'll have the flight plan here, but just to make it a little bit easier for you guys watching, I'm just going to bring up the SimBrief flight plan in PDF form. You can see here minimum block fuel is 9633. So if I hide that for a second, you can see it's loaded absolute minimum 9633. I mean, that is literally the minimum block fuel. In reality, you'd probably ask for 98. So what I'm going to do here is just change this to 1400 kilos for the centre tank. We have full wings. And there we are, 9806. So that's a more realistic fuel load. The only other thing is to match the zero fuel weight I'm expecting. We'll have 75 passengers in Zone A, 75 in Zone B, so it's 150 passengers out of 162. Well, imagine they've got carry-on luggage, so no checked-in bags to the hold. And that zero fuel weight now, 51.4, matches my SimBrief operational flight plan, which is here at 51.4. The fuel burn on this is really accurate, very close to SimBrief flight plan. I'm guessing that one's been adjusted for their prepared version. But there we are, the weight and balance is being calculated. We'll get to, well, we can actually do it now. We can set the takeoff weight, CG, and the flaps. So actually, we'll wait for the performance calculations done, actually. But not only that, if we go to the electronic flight folder, it's fetched your SimBrief flight plan. So your SimBrief flight plan's here on the PDF for you to view. I think it'll have Navigraph integration at some point as well. I have the Navigraph charts here, a drop-down menu, which is pretty cool. But yeah, we've got all the flight plan here to refer to throughout the entire sector. It's the usual SimBrief OFP Lido format, all ready to go in the OFP. Cool. Let's have a little look here and chat, see what's going on. Matteo Chewy, especially as this is the MD82, while the Rotate is the MD88, and Meridana flew MD82s, 83s, and 80. I remember you're a bit of a MD80 aficionado. No critical comments so today. I'm going to try my absolute best. I'm not so good on this plane. Scarebus, looking at the FB, pretty much all the advanced features in prepared are missing. No icing, de-icing, MEL, all the features that made the Maddog so advanced are gone. Scarebus driver, they're not in the FB, but if you go to, let me bring it up for you. I hope it doesn't cause any problems. Maddog load manager. I think if I push this button here, you should be able to see it coming up. There we are. So the EFB just has the basic functionality. I know you're very critical, Scarebus driver, because you often comment on my videos being critical of the different aircraft. But here, look, you have failure modelling, MEL categories as well for all the different inoperative systems you can select as well. I'm not pushing that button because you'll see my key. Here's a more complex loading data here. Where is it here? Basically, there was a page, settings. I think it might be this one, failures. Basically, you can add failures, and there's MEL categories. Basically, it has all those features, Scarebus driver, which are in the prepared and more. There's also de-icing and icing modelled as well. You can de-ice them and simulate de-icing what type fluid you want in the EFB. So I've been told it has everything pretty much that it was on the earlier ones. It's a little thinner, the prepared version, but I think they'll update it in due course. There you go, there you go. I got different things about de-icing, I think it was in here. But yeah, the EFB just has the basic functionality of that pop-in menu from the load manager. Looks like it's missing some features from the prepared load manager. You guys are the experts. I have never flown the prepared version. Maybe it hasn't got all the features yet, but it certainly seems to from a simulator point of view. Right, let's now carry on with the rest of the setup then. So we're going to actually get the OFP loaded up into the flight plan now, and then we'll continue with the rest of the setup. Again, it's probably a little out of order, but this is just the tutorial I'm flying based on the MD82. So there's no IRS system on the MD82. It has GPS only, but the setup of this, it's basically the same FMS out of the 737. It's very similar. You just have to tell it your position. So Echo Hotel Romeo Delta, and then the position of GPS, so that will update the FMS and the ND to its present position, so you can see Echo Hotel Romeo Delta. And it has company routes, so instead of typing in everything, I can just type in our departure airport, Echo Hotel Romeo Delta, to Lima Foxtrot Kilo Bravo. You of course have the option to type it out manually if you so wish, but by doing that it'll put all the routing information in for you straight from your SimBrief OFP. There you are, so it's all in there. We are using live weather, live time today. It should be a beautiful sunset approach later. Right now in Rotterdam it's a nice afternoon. Surface wind is straight down the runway, 040 at 12, so runway 06 for departure, 10k view at 4,000 feet, 12 degrees, QNH is 1029. I actually have to say two things to the Microsoft Flight Simulator I've noticed since I've last used it. They seem to have updated, when you push B to update your altimeter, it seems to recognise the transition altitude for the country which you're flying at. So no longer is it just 18,000 feet like it is in America, it actually is 3,000 feet in Holland, so when you push B above 3,000 it'll set a standard, which is pretty good. Secondly, hallelujah, they seem to have fixed the mouse cursor bug. It doesn't disappear on me at short notice, which is fantastic news. I am very happy with that. So yeah, it's going in the right direction. Right, so departure, arrivals. It'll be runway 06. We're going to be flying a Linux 2 Alpha departure. Or Lunix 2 Alpha, that's this one. And we're going to go to departure arrivals. Select our arrival today, which will be a Ligur 5 November later on. Ligur 5 November. And expecting runway 34. It's the procedural approach via the Bravo Tango Alpha VOR. We can activate that and we can execute it. Now, I have done this as a practice sector already, but it is always worthwhile to go to the plan page, and you can then leave the static here to normal. It's always worthwhile then just stepping through it, checking for any route discontinuity. So if you go to legs, you'll get the step prompt because you're in plan. Make sure there's no gaps in the routing. There you go. And then it's a procedural approach, so you'll see, of course we'll brief it in full later. We're going to overhead the beacon, outbound on this radial to a distance I think is about 12 miles, and then back round onto the ILS. The LNAV on VNAV on this is really good. I had an issue with Microsoft Flight Simulator yesterday with corrupted nav database. It was my fault. I tried to update the Navigraph database whilst in game, and it basically stopped all the VORs on ILS working. So I let it use LNAV and VNAV all the way to touchdown, following the overlay on the procedural approach in the FMS. It was like an RNAV approach, and it put me bang on the pappies. 2 reds, 2 whites, all the way till minimums, which is really cool. Papa, do you know when it will be available tomorrow? Absolutely no idea, I'm afraid. Lights 00, the mouse bug is caused by really sensitive flight controls bumping up the dead zones used to fix it, but that's nice that they fixed it regardless. That's good to hear. I've had no problems there. I see there's a bit of a debate with Sivo PMTG in chat. Yeah, I've been watching it. It looks really good from a system's point of view. From a dynamics perspective, I don't know yet. Things like, I've noticed some guys flying around, when you select flaps, like flap 1, flap 5, the real aircraft in balloons, the Zebo mod balloons, I've looked at some aircraft streams of the PMDG, couldn't really see much of that. Again, it's a Microsoft Flight Sim thing. X-Plane is a far more dynamic simulator. Aircraft just behave realistically. Just take a look at my last tutorial. Look at the crosswind landing tutorial. Just look at how the aircraft reacts in the flare and the landing and the touchdown. It's just, yeah. I think I prefer this sim for pure beauty and aesthetics. It looks beautiful, and this aircraft it's beautifully simulated as well, as is the PMDG. But what I'm probably going to find is I'll be flying the PMDG most of the time in beautiful scenery with the autopilot in, but when I want a strong crosswind landing, I'm going to probably switch to X-plane or something like that. If you play offline, do you always vector yourself in or delete the discontinuity? Good question, 1903. Really depends on the approach. If it's a procedural approach, you can utilise LNAV and VNAV and the flight management computer. If it's a vectored approach, you can just self-position. There's a way you can actually fly it on approach as well. Andy, the random up reminds me of the bonnet being opened on my old white 67 Beetle. I missed that car. Is that what you usually saw out your windscreen then, Andy? Brilliant. Hope you're doing well, buddy, anyway. Right, FMS is all loaded. Routing wise, we now need to do our performance. So fuel, we've got our fuel on board, 9750. So what I'll do, I'll put 9.8/N, and that puts like a manual fuel mode on there, manual, and I think it updates shortly. Zero fuel weight was, let's just double check, we'll do the performance shortly. Zero fuel weight was 51.4. I've got all my views set up like X-Plane 11 now, which is great. Really happy with that. 51.4. Reserves for our alternate. Let's just double check that. It was Fiumicino, Rome Fiumicino, the capital, Italy. It's 2.5 tons we need. Not 2.5, sorry, 3.5 tons to divert. Cost index we'll use 30, standard Alpaca Airways cost index, cruising at 33,000 feet. Cruise wind, just take the top climb wind, or we'll take the average wind, 259 at 13. There we are, top climb ISA, -4. It's a guzzler, this aircraft, it's showing almost 3 tons an hour being burnt. Transition altitude in Holland 3,000 feet, and now need to do our takeoff performance. Cam, you just booked up a trip to visit the Airbus factory in Mobile. Dream come true. Very, very cool. Can you look at A-cars? Sorry, Breadmaster. Yes, we do have A-cars. Let me just do the performance first. So, performance calculator. So, let's put in the weather. Echo Hotel Romeo Delta. Oops, no, I can't type it. It's dry here. Surface wind. Great, it's got a performance calculator, and it works really well. I think we're field length limited with this calculation today, and I used it earlier, and we took off, yeah, used all the runway up pretty much, that's for sure. Surface wind is 040 at 10. Outside air temperature is 12 degrees. QNH is a 1029er. Runway 06 departure, anti-ice off, packs on.
Approaching minimum.
Not going to reduce the runway length, we're going to use the full length available, and we just need to work out our takeoff weight as well. So let me just quickly jump back to the weight and performance calculator. Takeoff weight is 60.9, just to be conservative. Takeoff weight is 60.9, and then we'll click calculate, see what it says. Shuey, thanks 25 months as a member, buddy. Finally, Club Alpaca just got back from holiday. What have I missed? Thank you very much, Shuey, for your 25 membership. 25 months as a member. I can't get my words out today. And I see you've got the Alpaca badge as well. Thank you so much for the continued support for that entire period. Not much is going on. Flying an awful lot. My roster is jam-packed. I'm flying tomorrow. I've actually got some days off. I've got a full block of flying next week, a lot of flights, which I'm looking forward to, then some annual leave in May. So yeah, we'll get lots of streams done. Oh, if you could take part in the race, I haven't seen you in a race in ages. Sure, you're going to have a race on Sunday. Hope you're doing well. Matthew thought this standard Alpaca Airways cost index would be 69. Ding dong. Right, let's get these V-speeds in the calculator. I don't have my sound first time. Right, so performance is done. And FMS is all loaded. V-speeds have been entered into the FMC. On the MCP now we can turn on the flight director. So flight director's on, 3,000 feet stop altitude. Runway heading 056. V2 plus 10 knots is set here as well. We're just going to, it's an RNAV SID, but the Rotterdam VOR's on departure. So we're just going to set that up 110.4. We'll set that box 1 and 2. And we'll set the courses to the runway QDM as well, which is 056. 056, there we are, 056. Sweet. Everything's all good up there. Altimeter setting. Oh yes, I want to see ACARS. Yeah. Oh, I know what I've not started. I haven't started boarding yet. You get all the immersion from that. We got to get the passengers on. So it is aircraft services, I think, ground. No, what have I done here? Yeah, there's de-icing, ground de-icing, maintenance. Where is? Ah, yeah, there we are. Start boarding. Perfect. So that starts all the audio. You hear the PA going off in the background as well. That you get the cabin secure from the cabin crew as well, which is pretty nice. So if I turn the music down slightly, there you are. You can hear that the boarding process has started. Can't see any passengers, unfortunately. But you'll hear the PA going off here. And what's really cool is when the cabin crew is making PA, you see the little PA volume gauge jumping up and down, which is really cool. Right, now let's have a look at ACARS. So menu. I don't know what functionality ACARS we have at the moment. I know you can fetch the flight plan, so I will go here to request. Weight and balance. I think you could load up all your information there if required from SimBrief. But I'll press flight plan, and then obviously it takes a while for it to be sent. Send the request, and then it has to be sent to you, and then you get the ACARS message up here illuminate as well. Looks like the boarding started. There we are. We've got 16 passengers on. Put the bonnet down before boarding, or it'll make the passengers nervous otherwise. It's a good point, Steve. Actually, let's close the bonnet. Aircraft services, maintenance. Annoyingly, the click spot for the hide the iPads underneath the maintenance button. There we are. There's the random being closed. Passengers should be less nervous. Alright, I think that was the ACARS message. There we are. So ACARS message. Reset. Flight plan. And what it does, it sends the flight plan to you in the ACARS format online. So it's basically from SimBrief, all the flight information, call sign, OFP number, aircraft type, reg, cruise, takeoff weights, block fuel required. My operator, we don't have ACARS, but it's quite a cool way of receiving all the information for your flight for you to put into the FMC. All the routing information, fuel at each waypoint. It's pretty cool. Other features available, I don't know. I haven't delved into the manual deep enough to see what else can be done, but we'll go back into the FMC for now. Good, it doesn't look like a Beetle anymore. Brilliant, Andy. Dealey can. A set of golf clubs fit up there. That four compartment. Brilliant. 777 Bob, you'd like a freighter variant, please. Are there any MD80 freighter variants? I have no idea. American SOP is V2 plus 10 for takeoff. Thanks, Cheeseburger. That's the tutorial I'm following then. They also said to do V2 plus 10. Matthew, it's amazing how many flight simmers don't understand that every airline has its own SOP and companies do not fly the planes the same way as each other. Yes. Hallelujah, Matthew. Yeah, I still get comments on some of my videos, very critical comments, saying I've not done this correctly, not done that right, because they've probably watched another streamer or they have information from another airline's SOPs. And usually I ignore them, but sometimes I reply going, hey, you're quite right, but different airlines have different SOPs. There's a saying in English, many different ways to skin a cat. I know it's not the nicest of sayings, but there's more than one way to get the job done, and especially in a complex aircraft, that's for sure. Sort the standby artificial horizon out. Yeah, so I've only could do this after engine start, I've noticed. If I try and, align it here, it only goes to there, and after engine start I can then complete the alignment. It is sort of triggering me a little bit that it's not straight as well. Perfect. They do have a freighter, MD80 SF. Very, very cool. Nick Ray, did Nightbot say terminated when I was completing the MD franchise? Maybe. My Nightbot's very strict. Russell, EV Skipper, love to see you flying different airframes, especially more manual flying. Yes, I'll do so. I might use the automation on departure because it's quite fiddly, but on the approach I intend to fly a lot of it, and time permitting I'll do a go around, demonstrate a go around as well, so I have it all mapped out with my throttle quadrant, which is pretty cool. Right, so we now need to sort out the overhead panel. So over on here we need to leave that need to leave that off for now. Leave the temperature gauge in auto, temperature selector switch in auto, set the air conditioning switches to off. This is like the bleed system or the pack systems which you see on the 737. They need to be off for engine start. Set cabin pressure to primary. Here it's already on primary. Make sure the transfer lockout light is extinguished. Landing elevation, our destination is pretty much sea level, it's about 20 feet, so we'll set that here. Later on when we get the the QNH at our destination. We need to set that here to ensure the aircraft properly depressurizes after landing. Set the radio rack to fan, which is up here. It's already on fan. Verify air conditioning auto shut off is in auto, and that the RAM air switch is off. Doors, get ready to close them, but I think we're still boarding at the moment. Well, we're not even half full, so I won't close the doors just yet, but I need to verify we have the hydraulics on. We do have 2,800 pounds of PSI. You can see it's fluctuating slightly. But the pressure's all on, and we'll just wait to close the doors. We need to do the TCAS weather radar and built-in tests now. There you go, hear the PA? Look at the PA volume jumping up and down. It's just little touches like that I love. I just love stuff like that. So cool. Right, TCAS actually down here. So 7,000. Someone's been flying around VFR. We'll do 2,000 standby as we're in Europe. Leave it in standby. Won't worry about testing because we're not on VATSIM today. Let's do the stall warning test. So that's system 1, system 2. Love it. So stall tested, anti-skid lead armed, max airspeed warning test. Excellent. Put the logo light on. Yaw dampers on. Mac trim compensators in normal position. Ice FOD test. So we hold this to test. Verify we get ice FOD alert on the. Well, what do they call this on an MD80? I'm not so sure. Like an ECAM display, that digital ECAM there. So we've done those tests up here. Stall warning, max speed warning, ice FOD test is done, and we need to get the APU started now. So we're going to move the APU master switch to start. Hold it down, and then move it to run. Verify that the APU starts. It just takes a few seconds to get going. There we are. Oh yeah. Don't forget to turn the fuel pumps on. I had this problem earlier. We've got fuel in the centre tank, so we'll put all the fuel pumps on. I was wondering why the APU wasn't starting on one of the test sectors. It's because I didn't put the fuel pumps on. The 737 doesn't have an issue with that. You should have a pump on because it helps prolong the life of the APU. It can suction feed from the left main tank, but I don't know. The MD80 certainly needed the fuel pumps on for it to complete the APU start earlier. How transferable, familiar are the skills from the 737 to the MD80? Great question, Zilla Talir. There's enough familiarity, or enough similarity with the 737 that jumping into this is, say, easier than the Airbus for me, the modern Airbus. The FMS is identical. What is extremely unique, though, is the automation. That's very quirky and has a lot of little caveats and things which still and will today catch me out. So you have sort of like two separate systems, the autothrottle system here on the left, and then you have the autopilot here. But I've sort of, I can get it to do sort of the same as level change in the 7.3 vertical speed, VNav, LNav. I can work it. But there are some differences there. Swiss 001, isn't that the release tomorrow? I know who you are. You're the guy that does the butter things. You have many amount of subscribers. Thank you for popping in. My goodness, I feel starstruck. Everyone who knows who Swiss 001 is, probably slightly different audience catered for though with regards to your followers and mine. Hope you're doing well, and good luck with your flight training. I think I did see you becoming a pilot, so or you have a PPL. That's great news. Good luck with the rest of it. My goodness. Right, we have attend button here. Right, so I don't know if that's boarding complete. So I think you can push that. I'll check the passenger note here. There we are. So I think it just gives you a ding when all the passengers are loaded there. Right, so that's all done. APU started. We'll put the APU on the bus now, so we'll pop that on. And we can disconnect the ground power, so I need to move these switches off. We're going to go here, close the aft service door now as well. Maintenance, ground, GPU. There we are. We can take the GPU off as well. Excellent. Right, so we need to also turn the galley power switch on, which is here, and set both left and right pneumatic crossfeed valve levers open. Now, I still don't know what these do. I remember, oops, just knocked the trim there. I hope I haven't. Yeah, that's back back to 0. I don't exactly know what this does. I remember in the Rotate MD80 with the FT Sim sound pack, when you turn these on, you've got this huge gush of air coming into the cabin. I'm not sure what these do. It's some pneumatic system which needs to be on prior to engine start, so they are on. I can't hear any audio with that though. Set the APU switch to on, or APU air switch to on, which is... where are you? There we are. That's to ensure, I think, you have pressure for the engine start. There it is. And we've disconnected the external air, and we need the left and right air conditioning supply switch is still off for engine start. There we go. They're isolation valves. They are cross-feed valves. Open the APU LCV to both packs / start valves. Interesting, Matthew. Thank you very much indeed. XP72's popped in as well. I know who he is. How's the bitching Betty? Very well, XP72. She hasn't bitched too much at me so far. Thank you very much for popping in. I hope you're doing well. Guys, if you don't know XP72, he is a fellow flight sim streamer over in the United States, and he actually makes really good content. I've occasionally popped into his streams to say hello. Go check out his channel as well. Thank you very much for popping in. Right, so I think we are all pretty much ready to go for engine start. I'm just checking here. AP started. External power's disconnected. Right, we're ready to go. So all I want to do is brief you guys on the departure to make sure everything is all good. All the good YouTubers are on this stream. That's what I want to hear, John. Very good. Right, let's have a look at our departure here. So Navigraph charts. Oops. Oh, that's so annoying. When you do that in the sim. Oh no, it's actually worked. Oh, that's good. Last time I did that, it deleted all the pre-saved charts. So let me just expand this slightly for you, so it's a bit easier to see. Oh, I can't actually do that. Oh dear. But anyway, let's just show you kind of geographically where we are. There's United Kingdom. I'm here at the moment. We're in Holland, Netherlands, in Rotterdam. We're going to be flying overhead Germany, directly overhead Dusseldorf, Frankfurt, then right over the top of Switzerland, Zurich. There's Zurich there. It's going to be beautiful over the Alps, Milan, and then onwards to Corsica.
Minimums,
About an hour, 45 minutes that's going to take us.
Approaching minimums.
Here's Rotterdam Airport. We're on stand Delta 3. It's a remote stand in reality, but we're going to do a power back here, primarily because Microsoft Flight Simulator likes to spawn lots of random equipment in front of your aircraft, even though it's a remote stand. So we're going to power back, taxi out via Delta, even though we can't go out that way, then make a left turn to hold at Victor 1 for runway 06. And here is our SID, if I go here to the FMS to show you each point. So, RNAV 1 required, we have RNAV all installed, except close-in obstacles for departure. Very low stop altitude, look. Where is it? It is on here somewhere. There we are, climb to 3,000 feet. Why is that so low? The reason it's so low is because you have Schiphol Airport really close by, so they don't want you going up, you know, interfering the airport. There it is, Schiphol 3000. So you then get handed over to Amsterdam radar to get further climb. So lots of distractions here. Oh, we've got streamers galore. Captain Canada, I hope you're doing well, buddy. Nice to see you here. It's been a while since we've had a chat. I hope you're doing okay. Did someone say V1 Simulations is here as well? V1 Simulations, hope you're doing well. Right here, boss. V1 Sim, thank you very much for promoting the stream as well. I got a notification for that this morning. That was very kind of you. Thank you very much for popping into. Right, the pressure's building. Not only do I have a lot of excellent flight sim streamers here, I have other pilots. I know a lot of the viewers here, regular pilots. Matthew Presley, Scarebus guy here. No pressure.
Approaching minimums.
Jesus, Dealey, thanks to the 8 months as well. We have many famous streamers here, but let's not forget the famous John Padfield, who streamed himself smashing the Concorde down Gibraltar. I heard about that. I did miss it, but he did do that in Discord, didn't he? Thank you very much, Dealey, for the 8 months. I hope you're doing well indeed. Jack's coming in as well. Oh my goodness, Jack wants to see all the famous streamers. Tell you what, let's pop him up here so you can say hello. Come on, Jack. Come on then. Up. Oh, yeah. Well, if I put yoke cam on now, you're going to probably see his back. But there you go. What's this here? Look. Ah. You can see the back of his head slightly. Oh, don't fall down there. Up. Hello. He's sort of like stretching, half stretching on me. Julia Roberts. Yeah, we've got Jack here. We've got Julia Roberts here. Everyone's here at the moment. Oh my goodness me! You want to say hello to Julia Roberts, Jack? Oh, No, he's just knocked her over. Unbelievable. Right, let's get back to this business in hand. Right, so our departure takes us directly to Romeo Delta 153. Well, it's firstly 500 feet. Romeo Delta 153, right past the Rotterdam VOR, but that is not associated with this SID. And then we make a slight left turn to RD151, RD150, Ivolut, Lunix, and that's the end of our SID. We're then going to join our airway en route to Corsica. All our FMS navigation is used to pilots should enable FMS lateral guidance as early as possible. So essentially what that's saying is use LNAV ASAP, whatever mode you need to do there to get on the line there. Cool, all streamers are here, don't screw up landing. I know, Raven, gotta be on my best behaviour. I've also turned on the butter calculator for the overlay, so you get a little butter calculator. I don't think it's the most accurate there. Alex, shoot you can't wait to fly this bad boy tomorrow. I'm very, very excited to see this aircraft get released as well. Right, I think we've covered everything. Taxi, SID, I think we're all ready to go to get these engines started. So imagine we've got our start clearance, start engines on stand. We need to verify all the fuel pumps are on, which they are. Verify you have at least 36 psi of air pressure. So we have about 42-ish psi, so that is sufficient. Ignition switch to A or B, so we're going to go to system A. And we're not in winter conditions here. And now we're ready to start. So we're going to start engine number 2 first. We're going to hold this down. You see the pressure dropping off. Is that the cabin crew calling? Pretend calling? I'm not sure. I better shut the door. There we are, deny. Right, let's check the engine parameters first before we get fuel in. So we got N2, EPR, sorry, N1. Oil pressure is here and oil quantity is fine. There's 20%, so fuel coming on. Don't forget the engines are very far behind here, so it's much quieter as, say, on an Airbus or a 737.
Minimums.
Santiago,
minimums,
sorry.
Minimums. Approaching
Start
minimums.
pump to the on position. Let's have a look here. Oops, my bad. What does that do? And if I forget it, what? In real life, what would have happened? My bad, I missed up the checklist there. Right, looks like IDG's come online though. We've got a stable engine number 2, so we have N1 26%, EGT about 330, N2 about 55%, fuel flow is about 400 kilos an hour. Looking good. Now starting engine number 1. So sounds are okay. Sounds are okay. I prefer them in the FT Sim sound pack for X-Plane, but they're not bad. They're not bad. Get a nice heat there. So N2, N1, oil pressure, 20%, fuel on. Demon Traitor, I love how the MDs are designed with all the differently shaped switches and buttons to add tactile feedback of what pilots are touching. What always, Demon? I mean, when they went to the parts bin, why do they have like the landing light switch on the stall test? I think that's all they had left in the parts bin, or they nicked that from Boeing. And the light controls here. It must be like they designed it and then, oh, we forgot to put the anti-collision light switch somewhere. Let's just pop it here by the first officer's right arm. I love it. Need to cage to stand by vertical horizon. Now we've got 2 good engine starts that allow me to do it. Thank you. Start pump is DC only. Interesting. Yeah, we've got every streamer here. XP72, Captain Canada, V1 Simulations, Swiss 001. Actually, I don't know if he streams. He just makes ridiculous videos. Let's complete the pre-flight. Set start pump switch to off. Off. Set ignition switch to off. Set APU bus and transfer switches to off, so that can come to off. APU master switch to off. Takes a minute for the APU to shut down, but it will do. Left air conditioning supply switches to auto. So ensure we have pressurization. There we are, and air conditioning for the cabin. Windshield anti-fog and anti-switches on, which is here. Heater selector to pitot captain. Oops, I forgot to turn on the emergency exit lights. Seatbelt sign should be on as well. That's probably why the cabin crew are calling me. Wing and engine anti-ice not required. Verify the aux and transfer hydraulic pump switches are on for departure. They come off later. They are on. and verifying that both engine-driven hydraulic pump switches are in the high position they are, and that we have 3,000 psi at least, 3,100 and 3,000. Your start valve, close it. Thank you. Oh my goodness me, very well spotted. That probably doesn't do the engine any good. Excellent. Right. Oh, more pre-flight checks. Verify your dampers on. It is armed. The anti-skid, it's armed. There's the AP shutting down. Set Mac trim compensator switch to normal. Logo light switches on. Emergency exit lights are armed. Smoking and seatbelts on. Lights on for taxi.
50,
Automatic reverse
40,
switch is
30,
in
20,
the off position, and
10.
we have takeoff flex 44 degrees. We select flex for departure next as well. Thanks, John.
Grab a coffee for the nerves, Captain.
I need it, John. I need it. Too many people watching today. Thank you very much, John, for the £1.79. That'll get me a coffee for sure down the shots. Thanks, buddy. That's very kind of you. Oh, well, look at all this stuff I've forgotten here. V-speeds I forgot to set for departure. Forgot to get my takeoff bug card. Let's select that here. So there's takeoff data. V-speeds are for dry 147, 157. Flaps now. Now, why are the flaps not extending? There we are. So 0, 11. That should be 13 here. So this is dialer flap. Mirror for the compass, please. I'll pop that up in a second. There we are. Flap 13 set for departure. I don't think you can actually see the compass. But that is what the mirror's for, guys. They didn't know where to put the compass. Or something along those lines. I'm not going to look any more forward because you're going to see me. And then I think the compass is up here, isn't it? Or something. Because the compass dropped down? Yeah, it's just such a bizarre design. Love it. I think we're good. Auto land test, I'm not going to do. Flap set for departure. Trim is set for departure. Verify no error messages. We've got ART and op, which we know about, and parking brake on. Rudder travel unrestricted. I hope that's not a bad thing. Right, so now I'm going to try and do a power back. I'll pop the nose lights to bright. Master caution. What's the master caution for? Not so sure. Let's now turn off the parking brake. And we're going to reverse out of here, guys. I'm going to use power back. So unfortunately the reverse is on my yoke. I can't map. Well, I couldn't map for this aircraft. I tried for ages, just couldn't do it. So I'm just going to hold down F2 here. And we're going to power back out stand. Now it's very important you do this. Don't touch the brakes, because if you do, it's a little bit early taking off there. Don't touch the brakes because you'll tip the aircraft. A little bit of understeering there, but that's working. Yeah, these sounds are okay. They're better than, say, the stock sounds for the MD-11 in X-Plane. There's hope so I'll make the sound pack. They were okay though, but you don't get that real crisp roar that you would from these aircraft engines. Vero's been very critical, €75. Yes! It's only the sounds, guys. Let me just show you the rest of it once we get airborne. Right, that'll do. Right, well, imagine we requested taxi. I've got my little quadrant here to go, so it should be all matched up with the thrust levers in the sim. There we are, so adding thrust. Let's taxi on out to runway 06. It is very quiet in here. So pushback's doing that. I need to arm the speed brake. There we go. Actually, I'll take the second left fire. I think Foxtrot. It's a one-way system here, so we're going to go via Yankee. Let's make the left turn here. Mr. Maddog got luck to have DH on 1 during its last week of operation. Deadhead. Very cool. I've never flown as a passenger. Or certainly not been lucky enough to jump seat on an aircraft,
50,
that's for sure.
40, 30, 20.
Thank you very much,
10.
Taylor314T5 for the $5. Very kind of you, sir.
Not sure the coffee will be strong enough to settle your nerves. Go buy a pint on me, haha. Thanks for all the entertainment and knowledge sharing.
Thank you very much, Taylor, for the $5. Very kind of you. Hope you're doing well. Nice to see you still active and commenting on all videos. I tried to get back to as many as possible. Yes, that will get me something strong. Not today. My standby finishes at 10:30. We should just double check the phone. No, I haven't been called yet. Tomorrow's my last day. I'll get a stiff drink after the duty then. Thank you very much, Taylor, for your contribution and continued support. Thank you very much. Mario, can the 737 get out the gate using reverse thrust as well? Technically, yes, but it is prohibited. Too much chance, very likely to suck up FOD and crap and all that sort of stuff and blow people over. So, no, it is not approved for the NG. But it could do. Right, so a taxi on out. Ooh, it's not the best position for yoke cam. There we go. Excellent. Do you like the cockpit textures? Yeah, I like them. Some people were very critical of them. They said they're too similar to their prepared versions, but I think that it's one of the best cockpits I've looked. They've got a lot of weathering as well, which I quite like. So I'll take a left here. The only thing I have noticed, I don't know, since they did Sim Update 9, look, when I put a lot of left rudder in and tilt it does sort of understeer a little bit. And you seem to have a lot of excess thrust in the turn. Sim Update 9 seems to have caused no problems with this add-on though. I got it before Sim Update 9, tested it, then I did the Sim Update expecting issues, but it's had no problems at all. Just worked. There we are. Okay, on the parallel taxiway. I'm not going to do a checklist on the roll. I just want to get to the whole point before we complete the before takeoff checklist, which comes with the aircraft, which I have open on the side here, just to show you what I've been looking at. There you go. So we'll do the before takeoff checklist here. I'll do it on the side, and I'll then do my operator's own checklist because it's quite good at just checking key things are configured for departure. Don't say that, Matthew Presley. Approved for 3-point turns at the Isle of Wight though. Oh yeah, I had done that once. How do you remember that stuff? Brilliant. Basically, the sound's not been great, but the least important thing about the aircraft by far, the best simulator airline, and I explained all prepared for years. So I have heard, and from what I've seen, modelling-wise and flying en route here, it seems to be very, very good. Autopilot and automation is rock solid, really nice. The VNAV flew a non-precision approach on my test, well, not this sector, on another sector I did perfectly. Put me all the way down the virtual path on Pappies. Very impressed. I haven't seen an aircraft as good as that since the mod, actually, with regards to VNAV behaviour. Engine start still on, thank you very much. Is it? I think we're okay. Let me just come to the hold point here and set the parking brake. Engine start off. I think we're okay. I think we're okay on the engine start here, but please, if you see I've missed anything, please let me know. Yes, I saw that regarding the tiller, but I don't have a tiller, Brandon. I still use rudder pedals, so I'll be quite interested in getting a tiller for my desk, actually. It'd be quite cool. Right, so before takeoff checklist, engine select switches are off, pitot and static heaters are on, doors are closed, verify V-speed to set for departure, which I'll do with my operator's checklist. APU air switch, did I turn that off? No, I didn't. There we are, that switch is off. FMS GPS checked, flight controls I've not tried or tested, so let's quickly do that to make sure they're all working. Let's have a look at the yoke as well. There's the click spot for it, there we go. So fall forward, fall back, right and left. Let's try the rudders, right and left. So flight controls all look hunky-dory to me,
50,
no problems at all.
40,
and
30,
thank you very much,
20, 10.
Stephen Hayner, for $5. Horrible.
Cleared for takeoff, don't screw it up.
Cheers, Tower. Cheers, Tower. Thank you very much indeed for your donation. And I'll do my absolute best not to take it off. In fact, I might be utilising the automation sooner rather than later to ensure a smooth takeoff and transition for sure. Jammer, just describe what scenery program are you using? So this is the SimWorld Update 5 scenery, I think, for France and Netherlands. And then Orbex I have for Corsica later. Why did the music come up here? I don't need music at the moment, we're about to take off. Flight controls we've checked, slats are selected for departure, auto brake have not armed, so we're going to go to takeoff, arm, And we're just going to do a quick config check. This is the same as the 737, so release the brake, hold the brakes, do a config check. There we are. No takeoff config warning, so the aircraft is correctly configured for departure. And I'm now just going to do my operators before takeoff checklist, just to make sure I'm happy with the configuration. So config we checked. Flaps we have 13. Dialer flap with a green light with the slats. Stab trim set for departure. It's about 7 a bit units set. Takeoff briefing, so the air conditioning pressurization is set. V speeds are 33, 37, 46. We have 156 on the MCP. The departure is the Lunix 2 Alpha, or Linux 2 Alpha. No, Lunix 2 Alpha. Climbing straight ahead, runway heading, RD153. Stop altitude very low, 3,000 feet. NADP2 will select climb thrust at 1,500 feet. Any problems will also climb straight ahead to 3,000 feet as well. So that's it. Checks complete. I will now mute the alerts for departure to make sure all of you lot behave yourselves. Don't distract me. And we'll get ourselves lined up. Anti-collision lights, says Alex M. The anti-collision lights should be on. Thanks. Thank you very much. That's important. Right, so takeoff clearance. We're going to pop the lights on. And line up, where is it? Line up here. Arm the spoilers. Order brake to take off an arm. Push toga. And I think we are all good to go. I don't think I've missed anything. Holler in chat if you think I've forgotten something important, please, for my sakes. Let's line up and wait on the runway here. Pneumatic levers back to off. Santiago, that's an SOP, so we're discussing about different SOPs. The one on the checklist says here it's an option. It is not necessarily required off for departure. Well done, checklist. Thanks to Chandler. I think you nudged the rudder trim. Let's have a little look down here. No, I did earlier. It's definitely centered now. One thing I did do on the test sector is I accidentally knocked the tiller. That tiller's actually modelled, so it kept turning. Check the trims. Trims are all good. I did that already on my checklist. No pressure here. I mustn't forget the timer either. I think we're all good. I did knock it, but I did reset it as well. Ricardo, using headphone simulation, the sound settings, Captain. Absolutely no idea. One of their handcrafted airports, unfortunately, they forgot to handcraft this approach light out of the runway. So just ignore that fact. Hey, buddy. Line up here. Is the transponder on? No. And I'm just about to do my float for that, to make sure it is on there. Barometric pressure is set. Yeah, it is 1029, unless it has changed. Oh, it's now 1028, thank you. You guys are being excellent. I love it. Oh, crossfeeds to off. Oh my goodness me, so many little MD80. I'm just following the checklist. Got the checklist in front of me. Right, I forgot, because it's such a long aircraft, just a little bit early on that turn. Not too bad. Now, what I really like on takeoff here, they've modelled the nose wheel going out the taxi lights. So actually, if you come off the centre line, you no longer get the rumbling of the taxi lights. I'll demonstrate it on takeoff. When you get back on the centre line, you get the rumbling back. It's super, super cool. Right, so MCP is set. We're going to select nav at 400 feet, transponder. TAR rate, strobe lights come on after departure automatically. Landing lights are on. Checklist is complete. Shall we go to Corsica? Thank you, Isa. I knew I'd forgotten something. You've got to arm the altitude because it's a silly aeroplane. It won't level off automatically. You've got to arm it. Anything else? Any other tidbits in chat, guys? That is amazing. Hitting turtles is what I call it. V1, you and your little quirky terms there are brilliant. I'm going to say that now. Hitting turtles. Arm altitude I've done. Addon up should be automatic reverse thrust. Yeah, that's off for the reduced thrust for departure. Timer. Right, I think we're okay. Wish me luck, guys. Right, so yoke cam coming on. Timing. I'll get rid of the yoke down here as well. Let's move that to run. No, wrong one. I think it's this one. Oh no, it's not. It is that one. Ah! Run. Perfect. Let me just get my head all sorted out and a good position for you guys to watch as well. Excellent. So parking brake is released. 1.4% EPR. Toga's in chat. A little bit more thrust here, I think. 1 don't want to start using up lots of valuable runway. Wait for the engines to be stable. That'll do. Looks good. Auto throttle on. Set takeoff thrust. There we are. Light forward pressure. There we are. Just better match that up.
Takeoff thrust set.
Excellent. Can you hear the turtle's being run over? If I just come off the centre line, look on purpose. See how it stops?
Cross check.
Back on centre line, you get the turtles. Thanks to V1's quote. That's very cool. 80 knots release forward pressure.
V1.
Hand off the thrust levers.
Rotate.
Using all the runway up. There we are, we're airborne.
Positive rate.
Gears coming up. I'm a little bit low on thrust here. I forgot it's on clamp. I might have just been a little bit low on thrust there for departure. Whoops. Onto the flight directors.
Gear up. Lights out.
Just trimming. It's incredibly quiet. I might have to crank up Microsoft Flight Simulator sounds here. So there's 400 feet. I'm going to select nav. There we go. So there's 1,000 feet. If I now select VNav, which is over here. There we are. It's going to lower the nose so we can accelerate the aircraft. There we are. Remember, we've only got a 3,000 feet stop altitude. I'm going to select the flaps to up, then we'll retract the slats next. Trimming nose down as the aircraft accelerates. Feels nice. Feels really nice.
Flap 0.
So just the slats to come. Just get it back in trim. There we are. I'll pop on the autopilot. Autopilot's on. And we'll select flaps up. Or slats up. Just make this as loud as possible. And there's 1 to go, so I'm now going to select vertical speed. 1,000 feet per minute. I'm just going to watch the auto throttle. I think if I select speed, it's still in clamp, so I think I might have to just reduce thrust manually. I don't mind doing that, and then we'll select speed mode. We need to make sure climb is selected. Climb. There we are, speed 250, so the auto throttle is going to now look after speed. We'll just level off at 3,000 feet. Where's the engine sound? Well, the engines, don't forget, are around 40 metres behind us. You won't hear the engines in this aircraft in real life. You would have probably a lot more airflow. But there we are, levelling off at 3,000. Out cap. I'm pretty happy with that departure, guys. Pretty happy. Let's just level off at 3,000 feet whilst I rattle off the after takeoff checklist. So we're in nav. We're in out cap at 3,000, which is the stop altitude at SID. We're doing 250 knots. And the slats are all the way retracted. Verify the air conditioning and pressurisation. So diff's still 0. I think we need to climb a bit higher for pressurisation. So that is all set. Release the cabin crew. And we'll take off the nose lights. I think I have to leave them all on, actually. There we are, checks complete. There we are, on our way. Yes, the sounds could be a little better. I'll admit they're not the best, but they're adequate. I'll go with that word. But the actual aircraft and systems are the best I've seen in Microsoft Flight Simulator yet, that's for sure. Excellent, so we'll imagine we've been cleared higher. Remember, this is a lot of congested airspace around here. You probably have to stay at 3,000 feet for a short while. Because we've got departures here from Schiphol and arrivals. We'll imagine from ATC that we've been cleared to climb to flight level 330, which is our cleared flight level for the cruise. So let's set 330. And then we'll go VNav. And then push it to ensure it's armed. And we're already above the transition altitude here in Holland, so we'll set standard. Love the fact in Microsoft Flight Simulator it now knows the correct transition altitude based on where you are, so you can just push B, which is great because it syncs all the altimeters. So that's standard set, passing 29er for flight level 330. And what else I need to do here? Auto brake switch to off, engine hydraulic pump switches to low, these can come off and off, and auto brake to off as well. There we are, after takeoff checklist complete. On our way, guys. That was a busy departure. You can see why I didn't come on VATSIM for the first sector, but the plan is to stream this again in a few days, and I'd like to purchase a copy from one of you guys because Stefano from Leonardo Soft House, who sent me the aircraft, sent it to me for free. I didn't have to pay anything, so I would like to purchase one for a lucky winner. I'll plan another stream. I'll do a VATSIM flight as well, possibly on Monday. Wagon, the X-Plane Rotate version has better default sounds. Well, I wouldn't say the default sounds was good. You really much need the sound pack for that. Hopefully there'll be a sound pack available for this as well. Darren, what GPU do you have? Use the command exclamation mark PC. You should get all my PC specs. It's a 3080. One thing this does excel at is the visual quality.
Welcome.
So I'm routing inbound to Ivlet. We'll give ourselves a little direct. We'll imagine that ATC cleared us direct to SID termination point, which is Lunix. So to do an update here, we need to go to direct intercept Lunix. Execute. It's already in nav, so it's going to command that turn there. There we are. Not much of a sterile cockpit, Hugo. No, we play the tunes as soon as we complete the anti-takeoff checklist here at Alpaca Airways.
Welcome.
Just be happy, is there another link for the Alpaca Zebra livery? The one I found was locked. I'll ask if one of the moderators here can pop that link in chat for you. We have all the links on the Discord already available, but all the liveries are completely free to download. Thanks everyone subscribing as well. Juan, any wing views? Yes. So yeah, the audio is fixed as well. It sounded different in the cabin, which is a bit of a shame. Dan Simba, show us your settings. My settings are on high end, everything on high end. I could use ultra, but I think high end looks good enough. So I just use the extra PC resources and stick high end, not ultra. There we are. Anyway, we're above flight level 100, accelerating to econ climb speed, which is just under 300 knots. Do our pre-cruise checks. So lights can come off. The little retractable lights in the wing. Can you see them just folding in? That's really cool. I'll show you. I've got to show you it when we get to Bastia. I've got to show you at night time briefly, guys. The lighting on this is just on another level. I've never seen anything like it in any game, let alone a flight simulator. So lights are done. Fuel, we have 200 kilos in the centre, so we nearly used all the fuel in the centre tank. Main tank 4.2 still, and we'll do lots of fuel checks on the way there. APU we verify off. Pressurisation, cabin altitude's 4,000 feet, diffs 1 psi, and that is set. We'll release the passengers. Switch to auto. Oh, have a fag if you're in the back as well. There we are. And check the recall. Nothing uninitiated. Check's complete. Juan, how would you say the flight model feels? It feels good. Similar to the MD80 in X-Plane by Rotate, like the handling. It feels, compared to the 7.3, a little bit of a heavier aircraft. If I was to compare, say, to the Zebo mod, which I know handles really well in X-Plane, which I can believe with the design of the wing and the size of the flight controls. Yeah, it feels nice. The only thing is, in Microsoft Flight Simulator, aircraft behaviour on takeoff, landing, rollouts on the runway, it's not very dynamic. It's quite static in the way aircraft behave. Again, referring to those tutorials I made recently on CrossFit takeoff and landing, the way the aircraft behaves in X-Plane, aircraft add-ons behave in X-Plane, even basic ones, it feels much better. But the sim is improving, for sure. And you've got to think about, one of the things you've got to think about is what aircraft are you flying? If you're flying an aircraft like this, where 99% of the time you've got the autopilot in, you might not be so worried about the physics and the dynamics of things. As I was saying earlier, I think for me, personally, as a simulator, Microsoft Flight Sim is going to be the one that you get the most enjoyment out of from a, fly anywhere in the world visual perspective. I mean, look at all the clouds here, it looks mega. I mean, look, we're flying here over Germany. I mean, the sun's setting, but I did this sector here, and I recognised so many airports from just flying over this part of the world for the last 10 years. It was great. But if you wanted to be flying in dynamic conditions, like those crosswind takeoffs and landings, X-Plane is still a better sim. Still a bit mashed potato, but better every week. A little mashed potato. Did you mean lighter cigarettes? Yes, microfish, that's what I meant. Yeah, Wagman, sort of, in a nutshell. Master caution. Centre fuel pressure low. We only have 50 kilos of fuel, so let's pop off the centre.
Minimums. Approaching minimums.
11, Charlie NG. Welcome as a member. Glad you enjoyed the content. You get invited to our members-only Discord. Hope you enjoy using the custom emojis chat. Thank you very much for the support. Appreciate it, buddy. Ricardo, long arm between CG and horizontal stab in this bird, so maybe linked to the higher stick forces, probably. Can we do a cabin tour? Yes, we'll do that top of climb, Taylor. It's pretty basic, but it has a cabin. Coming to a little bit of cloud here, so let's check the temperature. Definitely below 10. I have a wrap temperature, it's the same as 10 essentially. So 0 degrees. Pop the engine anti-ice on. So left, right engine valve, left and right engine anti-ice is on. No flushing toilets. It's chugging some good old smoke out the back as well. Beautiful. Astrid, curious to see how the 146 is on release. As good as the Leo MD80 looks, I like the 146 as a plane more. I think everyone loves the 146. Also, very fortunate to be in contact with Just Flight. I have streamed a pre-release copy of their Microsoft Flight Simulator 146. Really enjoyed it, and I'll also got an email from Scott, one of the people on the dev team, who almost sent me, almost ready to send out their release copy. I think they're trying to release it in the next few days for sure. It's very close to release. Clouds are better at sim release, or I remember it wrong. It's certain elements of the sim that I think in certain world updates it's got worse. I agree.
50, 40, 30, 20,
okay, now they're a little
10.
bit excessively fluffy, and some of them look really angry sometimes. Thanks, buddy.
In prep for the 737 to 700 from PMDG, are there any differences to keep in mind from the 700 to the 800?
Yes, 11 Charlie, ENG. Thank you very much for the $5. Really appreciate your donation. Now, believe it or not, Japan Airlines, the airline I work for, we have a 700, and I actually have flown it on several occasions. Even not that recent, that so long ago. The 700 is like the sports car NG. If you could compare it to the 800, it has basically it's the same aircraft. All they've done is cut out a chunk of fuselage, same wing, same fuel tank capacity as well. But when it's empty, when you set takeoff thrusts, we have different engine ratings for the 700, 22, 20, and 18 at Mark Rater, and it's really quite. It accelerates really quickly. It puts a bit of a grin on your face. Really enjoyed flying it. But the main thing is no tail skid assembly, no trim air system, only one recirc fan, so it's a slightly different air conditioning system, but very similar. Otherwise, it's exactly the same aircraft. In a way, it's a little bit easier to land, I felt. I don't know. From handling perspective, it feels exactly the same. Like, there's not much difference there. But landing, it seems to be a little bit more forgiving during the landing. But yeah, it's because it's so much shorter. It has no tail skid assembly, one less overwing exit as well, and that's essentially it. It's exactly the same aircraft as well. But no, it'll be having flown the 700 quite recently in real life as well. I'll be able to give some good direct comparisons. In essence, there's very little difference in the 800. The pitch power settings are almost identical, a little less thrust. That's it. Thanks for the donation anyway, appreciate it, buddy. Guys, if you are enjoying the video, don't forget to smash the thumbs up button as well. It does help the channel out a lot. I used to do like targets, so it'd be great to get 800 likes today for the MD80. There you go. Farrah, do you have the PMDG 737? I don't. I was not invited to have a pre-release copy, unfortunately, but I promise you, as soon as it is out, seeing the channel is built off the 737 PMDG initially, and then primarily now the Zebo mod, I'll be streaming it. I'd probably do a first impression stream clip similar to this, probably like 5 or 6 hours long. So I've got already sort of plan in place. We'll do just an all sector from A to B, and then I'll do a second sector where I do a little bit more of a complex approach to test the capabilities, and then I'll do a third sector, a bit more general handling, raw data, and then a fourth sort of single engine work and see how it flies. It'd be great then. 737NG driver, I have seen his YouTube channel pop up. He might potentially be a JAL colleague of mine. He seems great, but no, his video is very good, so I recommend checking this guy out. He's part of the 737NG PMDG 737 tech team, I believe. I did see on the forum, someone asked him how does it compare to the Zebo mod. He hasn't flown it. I implore him to try it out, just to give it a comparison. I actually think that's the main reason I didn't get a copy, guys. I mean, I've been providing feedback for Zebo for 4 or 5 years. I fully respect from a commercial perspective how PMDG, they want to sell a lot of aircraft. I test and promote primarily a free one, so they might see it like competition. So yeah, the Zebo mod is the quintessential 737. I explained it, and I have no doubts that the 737 PMDG will be the best 737 you'll see for Microsoft Flight Simulator, for the NG, that's for sure. Captain LX, would you recommend the TCAO? Yeah, I would do. I'm very pleased with it. I actually did a review video if you're interested. If you type in TCA Boeing Yoke Flight Deck to Sim, that will link you to the video. And the way I have it set up in Explain for the Zebo mod, it's as close as I can get to a realistic handling 737 in a desktop sim. Ricardo, but you to help PMDG with feedback too, so they really need to get a copy to you, Captain. I appreciate that, Ricardo, but they have 737 pilots testing it, so they probably don't need any additional feedback. Of course, go over it with a fine-tooth comb though when I get a copy. And you know, with my content, guys, I always give a fair and honest opinion, and in a way, if I was to get an early access copy, maybe there'd be some caveats with regards to what I could say. I've noted with certain streamers, I mean, it's completely, absolutely respectable their opinion and everything like that, but it's like the Zebo word is banned, again, but yeah, in a way, waiting for release and getting a copy, purchasing it, I can give you an unbiased, without any worries opinion, if you know what I mean. But yeah, from what I've seen, I knew that question was coming. Liz01, from what you've seen from the live streams of the 737 PMDG, what are your opinions? Yeah, looks really good. I've seen it behaving at flying all sorts of approaches in the FMS. The pitch power settings, the numbers are all seem absolutely spot on, and obviously you get to use that in the best looking simulator there is. So I'd recommend it as a purchase. Really would. Shame that they're not releasing the 800 first though. 700 then 800. That's a bit cheeky. 800 is the one we all want. Beautiful. Anyway, onto the MD80. Passing above 30,000 feet now, so I'll set the bank angle to 10 degrees, operator SOP, and we're climbing up to our cruise level. The aircraft behaviour is really nice. As we approach Bisco here, just look at the behaviour of the flight director and the autopilot. I can just compare this to the 737, so see how the flight director is now commanding a turn, and look how beautifully the autopilot just follows it. It's very smooth. Best aircraft on Microsoft Flight Simulator I've seen with regards to LNAV behaviour and VNAV. Really smooth, really nice, and I guess that comes from their prepared version. It's exactly how it works. The flight director system is commanding a pitch and roll input, which the autopilot will then follow. autopilot flying if you had the autopilot disconnected. It's very, very nice. Astro, can't speak for systems for handling, but visually the PMDG looks a bit too clean, but looks very good, especially the lights. Yeah, it does look. It's basically it's a edgy right out the factory for sure. Wagbang, yeah, great to finally see some good autopilot in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Yeah, this one's really nice, really, really nice. Now, MD80 experts actually have a quick question, because this one was a bit bugging me during my test sectors here. If I select indicated airspeed Mach, it's now pitching for a speed, and it says clamp. Clamp, I understand, disconnects the autothrottle, so now I'm free to change thrust, I believe. Is that how it works? So you can actually just then change your thrust as needed? Or is there a way of climbing and level change, or IS hold, and then using the autothrottle? I guess if I select EPR limit, it's just going to set EPR to climb whilst pitching for a speed. This is level change, I believe, level change equivalent. But you can then just go back to VNAV. It's 700, then 600, then 800 boss, cheeky. I probably won't get the 600s. Ah, cool. Bird Scamper clamp is manual throttle control, so that's like ARM in the 7.3. Oops, no, that's airspeed. I want to match the heading. There we are. Flight level 330 has been reached at the cruise. You can hear the autothrottle moving. Hear that noise in the background? Sounds a bit annoying, but that's exactly how it sounds. I listened to some MD80 videos, and this noise you're hearing is exactly how the autothrottle sounds in real life. Astridges, the 700 is a sports car, the 600 F1 car. I'd hazard a guess say it is. The 700 empty with full 22k. It's got a lot of oomph. Positioned the aircraft not so long ago, and it was a short flight. We were only cruising at about 24,000 feet, and we're empty, and we had to use vertical speed in the climb because with full climb thrust, it was doing 8,000-9,000 feet per minute in the climb. No word of a lie. Honestly, empty with only about 4 tons of fuel on, it was going up at 7,000-8,000 feet per minute. I was like, okay, let's go vertical speed because you're getting out of quiet at 4 to go, 4,000 feet to go. Crazy. The 900 ER's the minivan, Lauren. Love it. Aaron, the autothrottle noise is paid for headphone users. Can you switch it off? Correct me if I'm wrong, MD80 experts, but I think that's exactly how it sounds. It would be nice if you could tone it down slightly, though. Oh, did I leave the engine on TS on? I did. You can see how the EGT changes with engine NTIs, which is cool. There we are. Top of climb reached. So yeah, first impressions of this aircraft so far, really like it. I think it's at the moment what's available, the best pay-wear aircraft. Really, I'm not saying that because they gave me a copy, and we know the sounds perhaps are not right up to scratch, but everything else, you guys have probably flown the version in prepared. I think it's a direct insert of that aircraft, updated slightly for Microsoft Flight Simulator. But seeing the forum post from Stefano and the team, they're not just going to release it, they're going to be updating and enhancing this aircraft. So as a launch version, I think it's pretty good. Ricardo, EPR rises of anti-ice off, correct, Captain? Oh, I don't know, Ricardo. We don't have EPR gauges on the NG. You notice a slight change in N1 in the NG. Right, should do a cabin tour. I know someone wants to have a look around the cabin, so let's have a look. Let's open the doors. Let's go to deny. Where are you? No, did actually open the door on the ground. Maybe I could just walk through it. Oh, there we go. So yeah, the cabin's okay. It's pretty basic textures and things like that, but at least it has a cabin.
Welcome.
And they have multiple pre-assigned views for the cabin as well, which you can use. But there's not many aircraft you can actually walk through the cabin, which is quite good. Yeah, it's pretty basic. It's got X-Plane 11E vibes. You can't pop your head out the window. But unfortunately, the EPR to cruise. Thanks, guys. I'll do that in a second. Yeah, it's a shame they don't have much dynamic audio in the cabin. So usually, if you walk behind the wing, you'd hear the airflow of the wing change. And obviously, in this beast, as you sat here right at the back, right next to these engines, the roar from what I have seen is quite unbearable. So yeah, it's a fixed sort of sound, unfortunately. There you go. There's the engine spinning. Before anyone criticises why are these not spinning, they're not fan blades. They're just sort of inlet guide vanes directing the airflow into the fan. But yeah, it's okay. It's basic but okay. Not many aircraft even have a cabin, so good legroom for the alpacas. Yeah, there's such a strange seating arrangement. 2, 2, 3. Let's go for cruise then. Thanks for that one. There we go. Where's top of descent? It is. Where's the progress page? It's on the cruise page somewhere. Well, we're going to be landing at 1902 Zulu. It's about an hour and 25 minutes away. I thought there was a page which showed the descent. Top of descent information. Maybe I need to be a little bit close. VOR failure. Well, we actually might have a VOR on our route, so let's have a little look here. Beautiful routing today. I think there's a VOR. The Kolstra VOR, overhead Germany. Near Baden-Baden, I think. Yeah, there's Baden-Baden. 1595. Might as well tune that up. A little bit far out of range here. Do it on Jim's side as well. I love the little digital here. It's like a calculator. Yeah, it looks great. You can't complain about the textures on this. They're really nice. Karlsruhe, thanks Listerman. My German's not the best. Shot and Cat, can I ask a quick question? In Microsoft Flight Simulator, how do you set up manage camera views, like quickly moving between CDU overhead? Shot and Cat, let me get you a fantastic video, which I even commented on yesterday to say thank you very much to the guy that made it. Basically, it's how to set up views like it works in X-Plane 11. So basically, on my numpad, I have all the pre-signed views. It doesn't take long to do either, so let me just find it. View setup. Yeah, it's a great video because I've been the camera system's okay, but it's not as good as X-Planes, and this basically sets it up so it's like X-Planes. There you go. What's the turbo button for? Turbo? Are we a Knight Rider all of a sudden? Turbulence, probably. I've got no idea. I guess it's some sort of turbulence penetration speed or altitude. It's not turbo. Awesome.
50, 40, 30.
Thank you very much.
20.
Puller of spikes for the $20. Oh, that's very kind of you. V1 must have said I'm streaming the MD80.
Came over from V1 Simulations. Loving the stream.
Thank you very much, Puller of spikes for the $20. Really appreciate it, buddy. Thank you very much for popping over. Yeah, we had V1 Simulation here at the start of the stream. Come to say hi. That was very nice of him, and he very kindly promoted this stream on his YouTube community post, so appreciate your donation, guys. If you haven't heard of V1 Simulations already, I'm sure most of you have. He's the Airbus equivalent of I. He's an A320 captain for a US operator, so if you want to learn about Airbus, recommend go checking out V1 Simulations. I'm your Boeing man, don't forget that. Cheers, buddy, and send my regards to V1 as well. A lot of people talk about doing collaboration stuff, and I'm a bugger for organising anything. I've been saying for a very long time I'd collaborate with several streamers. It's just sitting down and actually organising it, especially at the moment, and I'm sure it's the case with V1. work's really picked up. For the last 3 months I've been busy flying. You know, I can only stream max once a week. I have got some annual leave coming up in May, which is actually, hopefully, if released to PMDG, it's going to give me some time to have a play with that and get some content out for you guys, because I want to do some streams, I want to do some full flight tutorials, just one to show you it there. I think that 737NG is going to have you all covered with all the other stuff. And also I do want to do a Zebo PMDG comparison video, because I think it'll be quite popular. It'll certainly be in demand, because that's all I get is questions about this. A number of people thought I had access to the aircraft, but I want to sit down, and V1 is one guy I want to do a stream with, be it even just a group flight. We do a group flight together where we take the NG, we take the 320 or something like that. Q8 pilot is going to do something. He's invited me into one of his streams when the PMDG comes out, so I might pop into his stream and answer some questions for him for the 7.3, which would be pretty cool. Very good. Maris Ryson, are you interested in cars? What do you drive? Love my cars. I have a BMW 320, old estate car, and a Mercedes A-Class. And the two cars I have. The 320 is a 2008. You know, good to take down to the tip, and you know, it's the 100. How many miles has it done now? 130,000 miles, 200,000 kilometers. No, 280,000 kilometers. Great. Carl, it's funny that the guy from Europe is a Boeing pilot, the guy from the US is an Airbus pilot, absolutely. Boozer Brandy, how's the FPS in the aircraft? Pretty good. I have Fly Live Studio, which actually gives me an instantaneous report of FPS. I'm getting 50 FPS right now. It seems to be fluctuating between 50 and maxing out at 60. But if you can see, it's very smooth. Very, very smooth. Guys, I am going to have a quick 5-minute break, because I have been sat here for 1 hour 40 minutes and we're not in that sim. So what I will do is
50,
leave it as it
40,
is, inbound to
30,
Mitsu, an external
20,
view, and I'll
10.
probably come back in. Oh, we'll come back in about 5 minutes or so. Thank you very much, Robbie Pierce, for the tenner.
Do you have to turn off the gear hydraulics in the 80 like you do on a 738?
Thank you very much, Robbie Pierce, for the £10. That's a very kind donation and a very good question. So there is no off option on the MD80, so I should think, like with the Max 7.8, when you select up, perhaps I'd take a logical guess here that maybe the MD80 will depressurise the hydraulic lines holding the gear up, and there'd be a gear up lock in place. That's what happens when you put the gear to the off position on the NG. We'll leave that for someone in chat who's a little bit more clued up with the MD80. Sorry, I can't give you an exact answer, but for sure that will be answered in chat shortly. Thank you very much for donating via PayPal as well. I really appreciate that. Cuts out the YouTube fees. Damn YouTube. But as always, all I ever want you guys to enjoy the show. That's all I ever need. Excellent. We have control. This has been brilliant. Sean and Cat in the Zebo PMDG comparison support. To remember, you get official support from PMDG. Noted. Okay. Guys, I'm going to take a quick 5-minute break. We're going to get back. We'll continue with the stream. We'll talk MD80, PMDG 737 fly sim, whatever you like. As ever, all I want you to do is enjoy the show. I'm enjoying it myself. It's great to be back streaming after a little bit of a gap. But take care in the next 5 minutes. I'll see you all shortly. Thank you.
Welcome.
Thanks for that, guys. Nice and refreshed after that break. Jump into a drone cam for a second. It's going to be a beautiful approach. In fact, it might be just after sunset. I love this sim at sunset. If you guys, what do you think? I posted a video on my Instagram story today. Filmed it about a week ago, actually. It was the sun rising. I was on earlies. Looked so cool. I just put some funky music with a sloth dancing. That's the amazing content you get from myself these days. Why so many crabs in chat? We're not even crabbing. far behind the aircraft as well. Because the engines are rear mounted. That's great. Carl, this will be the sole source of my PMDG 737 info. Can't wait till we get some videos out of it. However, I'm immediately buying the MD80 once it's out. Awesome stuff. That's very kind of you. Yeah, we've got lots of PMDG content coming, guys. Love that. Look at that. Chemtrails. Contrails. Juan, how many flight hours do you have in real life? I'll tell you exactly what I have. I've got my electronic logbook. 5,200 now. Just updated my logbook actually. I use Pilot Log now. It was an MCC Pilot Log, but because I had the old version, they let me update like a one-off fee. They usually have a membership or monthly fee or an annual fee. They let me update it for like a lifetime membership. For like, just had to pay 3 years worth of subscriptions, about €100. Where is this? South Germany. There we are. Just west of Stuttgart. Going flying over Switzerland next, the beautiful Alps. Right over the top of Milan, Genova, Corsica. So in my logbook, as of 29th of April 2022, I have 5,156 hours and 41 minutes total time on aircraft. 1,156 hours as an instructor, as an SFI. That's hours I logged as an instructor. I was an SFI a few years back, of which on the 737 was about 4,900 or so. Have you ever been to Thessaloniki? I haven't. Ellis, how is the aircraft? I really like it. I think the sounds are a little lackluster, but the model and the actual aircraft, the way it's behaving is really, really good. I'm not the expert, but I've really enjoyed preparing for this stream and flying it. Just look at the external wind blowing sound. Back into the cockpit, a little bit of silence, and we're currently routing to our next waypoint, which is 50 miles away. Go to the legs page. Tittings. Now, what does 49.2? I guess that's distance. Yeah, makes sense. What does DTW mean? I have no idea what that means. Microfish, how many variants of the 737 have you flown? Just the 700 and 800. We have Max in our fleet, but I've not flown it yet. Bricky, when does time start? That's a very deep question. Is this flight time in the air or on blocks? So the flight time I always quote is in the air, so from takeoff to landing. Off block time we always make a recording of, but the time on the timer is flight time. Block time is from gate to gate, from pushback to on stand, and then flight time is from takeoff to landing, which is the one noted in the logbook. Distance to waypoints. I could have worked that out. Distance to Detroit. Mario, do long haul second officer hours really count if you want to apply for a different job if your company doesn't upgrade you into an FO? I don't know, Mario ST. A lot of airlines utilise second officers like Cathay Pacific and cruise pilots, and they do log the hours, but what that could work or would be used towards, I don't know. Just be happy. Have you flown to Cork? It's where I did my flight training. Cannot confirm nor deny. City code for Detroit. That's what I was thinking. Whiskey Taco Foxtrot. I had it like in my head. That's on the American airport we've flown to on a stream. Anthony Teal, how many hours of chicken sales did you have? I worked at Morrison selling chickens for 3 years. In the distant past. Cheeky. You're doing well, buddy. Anktar. On the right edge of the screen is the city of Karlsruhe, which is where I live. Guten Abend to you, sir. I actually quite like this Navigraph chart integration sim. I wasn't a big fan to start with, but I installed it again. I was like, oh, it's actually quite good for streaming. Starsburg. Ah, yes, we've just gone past Karlsruhe. My German pronunciation as good as ever. Coming up to Zurich next. And we'll soon be halfway in our sector. I still haven't done a fuel check. We'll do that at Titix next waypoint. Ellis, is it a study level aircraft that term? Yeah, I think it's a very highly detailed rendition of the MD80. Some might say the best available for a desktop simulator, as far as I can see. Well, they have a very detailed manual, or manuals I should say, that comes with the aircraft. Dozens of PDF documents, all the systems modelling and how it works in the sim. So yeah, I think it's as close as you'll get. Yeah, so I'll do a second stream of this, and I'll do a sector on VATSIM. I don't think we'll have an alpaca livery. We went alpaca 01 today, because why not, in the stock Leonardo SoftHouse livery. But yeah, I might go. I just saw, I think it was Edo talking Alitalia. Alitalia had a really cool livery on their MD80s. But then the American Airlines all aluminium one, oof, that's pretty. Don't see them any like that anymore. And it's Karlsruhe. Thanks, Anktar. Sorry, buddy. Javier, love the aircraft. Very cool, isn't it? A fallow twang. Can we do a holding pattern? Well, this is the plan, guys. Let me get the charts later. Would you guys like to see me attempt? I've done it once. It was okay. A missed approach. I might demonstrate a missed approach today. Show you how it's all working, because it works very, very well. And it goes to a publish hold, and it did that very, very well. And then I used the exit hold function, and it did that very, very well. I was very impressed with the FMS on this aircraft, and I'd quite like to demonstrate that. So let me grab the bit of promo there. Let me grab the charts for Bastia. Let's get rid of Rotterdam here. Turn up the sim slightly. And let's go over here to our destination. Open chart list. So the arrival we're going to fly is a Liger 5 November. Victor. There we are, Liger 5 November. We'll pin that. And the approach that we're going to fly today, because it's quite convenient actually, because we've got no ATC. We're going to fly the procedural approach over the beacon outbound onto runway 34, which is the runway in use today, favoured runway with the winds. So we'll pin that too. We're going to do landing performance calculations as well, so let me just grab the airport charts and parking stand chart as well. And this is all replicated by Orbex. The scenery looks really, really nice. So yeah, the plan is, guys, depending on time for myself, is I'm going to fly over the airport, fly the procedural approach out to 13 DME. We're going to have to cross-tune the frequencies because you've got the ILS 14, sorry, 11135, but the DME is based off the VOR for the procedural term. So the plan is I'm going to fly this. At minimums, I'll execute a missed approach. I'll do the go-around. It's out till 7 DME, back to the beacon, enter the hold, the published hold, which is not depicted on this chart. I think on the star chart it is. There's the published hold, look, led to this published hold. And then we'll go once around the hold, and then just repeat the approach. And then hand fly that as well. So the first one approach, I'll probably utilise the automation. The second one I'd like to hand fly, have a bit of fun. We could talk about reserve fuel, the decision-making process, if, say, we were going around. Remember, we've taken minimum block fuel for this sector, which reminds me, as we approach our next waypoint, we'll do the fuel check. But yeah, if you'd like to see a missed approach, I'll have a go at one. That'd be great fun. So, approaching Titix. Let's grab our flight plan. Titix, so we should have been airborne for 52 minutes. We've been airborne for 52 minutes, so following our Costa and exit flight plan level nicely. We should have 6 tons of fuel. We have 6250. Fuel burn is spot on. We saved about 200 kilos, and we should have burned 3,700. Down here we have the fuel used, which is this button. 1730. So that's 3.5 tons burnt. We should have burnt 3.7. So the fuel burn is exactly as I'd expect. Very, very nice. Is this a base turn procedure? Yeah, so it's a procedural turn with a sort of base turn after a set distance. Quite common. T-Bomb 83, hi Captain, sitting on a plane about to head to Hawaii in real life. My taste tonight. Cheers to you. Thank you very much, T-Bomb 83. I don't know what that means, but have an amazing flight. I think a lot of us in chat wish we were on a flight to Hawaii this evening. Beautiful. Very, very nice. How do you manage your views? Ah, where's that video I shared? I'll share it again. There you go. That's how I do my views in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Turn up the panel lighting light slightly as well. I made a mistake yesterday in the test sector. I was streaming to the guys on Discord, turning it to night time, and then I couldn't find any of the night or the lighting for the panels. There we are. I just took a little bit of lighting on in preparation for sunset. That's just the sun coming through the window. Yeah, it is. Look, see the sun coming through the windscreen? That's what I like about this. Little bits like this. It's a drink. Oh. Hello, Third Watch. Good afternoon from Dallas Lovefield, K-Dow. Thank you very much for popping in, buddy. Hope you're doing well. Blade School, first time here. Enjoying it so far. Thank you very much. Julian, do you know the release date? Should be tomorrow. This aircraft should be available for you to download tomorrow. From the sim market, it'll be €75. Just be happy, Nightbot hates me. Very strict Nightbot here. Lucian, I think the textures in this aircraft are outdated. I quite like the textures personally. Sounds could do with a bit of sprucing, but I think the textures are very nice. There we are. Almost halfway over our sector. Don't be cloudy over the Alps. I did the test sector yesterday. It was beautiful over the Alps. Live weather seems to work fine in Microsoft Flight Simulator now as well. No service. I love that. Look. Better put it on flight mode. Battery discharges as well. See the Alps coming into view. Look. Third watch, glad to see an extra pilot stream this. The streams are terrible. Well, nothing against non-pilot content creators. They actually make some really good content. Like, I've watched them as well, usually to pick up some bits from flight simming, like some techniques, and certainly if I want to test an aircraft or review them, I'll watch them. There are some ones that probably are a bit rubbish though, but each their own. How accurate is live weather from your point of view? It's improved in Microsoft Flight Simulator, and it certainly seems to match METARs now. I prefer the Active Sky implementation in X-Plane. I think that's really, really good. Paul Falco, how's your FPS? It was about 50 to 60 FPS earlier, and it seems to be about the same at the moment. Yeah, exterior engine sounds are a little lacking. Someone from Greece, I believe. Why is it always so quiet inside the cockpit? I mean, in real life. I think the MD-80 was a quieter aircraft than, let's say, the 7.3. The engine's obviously right at the back as well, but I think the actual airflow was far better. PMDG 737. Well, I'm going to get that a lot, I think, in the next... till I get my hands on it. It looks really promising, Ellis. It looks really promising from the content I've seen that's been released and the streams. Cannot wait to try it myself.
Minimums. Approaching minimums.
He's probably joined as a member to come into my members only Discord and tell me how to properly pronounce Corsica. Thank you very much, buddy. Glad you enjoyed the content. You'll get invited to our members only Discord. Enjoy using the custom emojis in chat as well. I really appreciate the support, my man. Thank you. Yamin's Flight Bots. Would you recommend an electronic logbook to start logging flight hours starting on my PPL soon? So I use Pilot Log. Used to be called MCC Pilot Log. They're called Pilot Log now. Which I log every day. Every time I finish my duty, or sometimes on the last sector, I'll start filling in the logbook. My paper logbook I haven't updated now for over a year. My plan is when I retire, I'll actually do my paper logbook, perhaps to give to my one-day children. Berlin flight, it's Karlsruhe. Thanks, Listerman. To all the new members that joined today, yeah, if you have any problems joining the Discord, it's fully integrated with YouTube membership, so basically it only generates an invite if you're an active member on YouTube. If you then no longer wish to be a member, which is happens all the time, and people come and go, you get then, I think it's a 24-hour grace period or until the end of the month to stay in the Discord as well. But any problems, type in Google Discord YouTube synchronization, follow the steps there. 5 new members joined today, so thank you very much for all your support. Lucian, how far does this aircraft go? I think it's got quite good range. I really don't know off the top of my head. I don't know if it's going to have the same range as the 800, but I think it's pretty good. Andy, most people take up a hobby when they retire. You're going to do admin. Oh, it's been cool to do. I was really good at keeping my paper logbook up to date, but it's just one of those things. Look at that, guys. This is where this sim comes alive, approaching beautiful parts of the world. Love flying over the Alps in real life. Love flying over in simulators. And my goodness me, it's pretty in Microsoft Flight Simulator.
Minimums,
And the sun
Minimums. Approaching
will
minimums.
shortly be setting. Just stunning.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Sniper 1000, thanks for your membership as well. Really appreciate it. Digby the dog, thanks for the £6.19.
There's no mad dogs, only good boys. Woof woof.
Thanks, Digby the dog, for the £6.19. Still don't know who you are. We already have good boys here at Flight Deck Sim. Thank you very much for your donation. That's very kind. And hope you're doing well. Mickey Jack coming to the stream here. Sniper 1000, thank you very much for becoming a member. Glad you enjoyed the content. Get invited to our members only Discord. Hope you enjoy using the custom modes in chat as well. Thank you very much for your support. Cheers, buddy. Third watch, I've just seen that pop up here. Thank you very much. That's incredibly generous.
50,
Flipping
40,
heck. Thanks for the $50,
30,
buddy.
20, 10.
Very, very generous. Thank you.
I watch you all the time, just never usually get to see you live. I love your knowledge and humour.
Oh, I'm living third watch. Thank you very much for the 50 quid, buddy. That's extremely generous of you. Thank you very much for the donation. And here I am, living well. Thank you very much. Glad you enjoyed the content. Very kind of you. That view of the sun, though. Look at this. That is just stunning. Hello, IP5. Was only about to join now. How's the Mad Dog doing? All good? Well, my poor attempts at getting from A to B is going reasonably well. You know, it's not my knowledge base, I'm not an expert on this aircraft, but so far I'm very happy with the aircraft as a product itself. I think it's fantastic. All the systems, the automation's doing it well. The sounds we've been discussing, probably not the best. Hopefully they'll update that, or there'll be a sound pack for you guys to get on. But the actual aircraft itself is as solid as an aircraft I've seen for Microsoft Flight Simulator. It's great. Victus, when MD-11? Yeah, we can jump into that aircraft again. We have flown it once. Obviously, the MD-11 by Rotate was launched and a few issues, to say the least. I waited until they patched it. We flew a version which had a few issues, but it was certainly solid with regards to LNAV. It was better, and I should think they probably had some more updates to it soon, and I quite enjoyed flying that. So I'll probably... Well, Zebo probably. Then I want to jump into this aircraft again. Usually when I fly a different aircraft, I have to kind of build up the skills and knowledge to operate it proficiently, not expertly. And I quite like to fly it again before I forget all that knowledge again. I have flown this aircraft before, but I keep all my notes, you see, from when I fly it previously. So, and I'd also like to give away a copy of this aircraft as well, just to say thanks to the devs for sending me a free copy. Remember, I didn't have to pay for this. So my way of saying thanks for dev is to support them by buying a copy and you or my wonderful viewers have a chance of winning it. I'll be fine, thanks mate, good to hear. Not being an expert, well same here, but learning on the fly will save us for sure. Pun intended, see what you did there. Brilliant. Ilias, yes, I did see this. What do you think of the PMDG 737 wing flex? It seems to always vibrate during flight, even in smooth conditions. It really does look a bit unrealistic to me. What do you think? Yeah, so I have seen on some videos on wing views, the wings are constantly jumping up and down. Now, we've all sat on window seats out of aircraft. In turbulent conditions, you do get oscillations, and there's a lot of flexibility in the wing. It needs it to. If it was rigid, it wouldn't do its job. They are sort of vibrating up and down a little bit in a unrealistic fashion and constantly. You know, I prefer the movement. I mean, in smooth conditions like we're in now, the wing doesn't move, but in any load factor on the aircraft, any increase in G will cause a little bit of flexibility, so it's a little overdone perhaps. Excellent. Yeah, that's the version I've been flying, Briggy. The Rotate MD11 1.03 is the one I flew, and it was pretty good. Oh yeah, I'm itching to feel this Ormy Ginsberg. Really, I really want to fly that 200. I love it. The sounds, the immersion, the golden era of aviation. Yeah, I want. There's so many incredible aircraft. I want to reiterate. You know, when PMDG does come out, I will be having I will be creating content now. I must stress that I'm never ever going to be abandoning Zebo as well, but I will be taking the opportunity, given the nature of my channel, to stream the PMDG, so there will be a bit of PMDG content coming out, but there'll be trust me, a lot of people ask me, why haven't you switched to Microsoft Flight Simulator? It's because, in my opinion, X-Plane 11 still is the best sim with regards to how aircraft handle, the physics of it. This sim obviously outweighs with regards to how it looks, the visuals, but yeah, we'll be jumping back into the Zebo as well. But yeah, the Felis 7.4, my goodness, that's one of my favourite. Love that bird. But this looks amazing too. You guys, I've said it before and I'll say it again. We are very spoiled for what's available in both respective simulators now. It's incredible. Interesting, Lauren. Maybe. Elias, have you flown the Max in real life? And if so, do you need additional training? Yet to fly the Max. We do have them at my operator. I have done the conversion training. It's been over a year and a half almost since I did that. And I could be rostered to fly it at any time. But we have lots of documentation, conversion documentation, how to get up to speed with the Max. The only additional training was a ground-based CBT, which probably takes a day to complete. After the Max had its 2 incidents, we all well know about, they updated that a lot to sort of bring to the attention MCAS, and also what modifications are made by Boeing to ensure that those incidents that we saw in the past never happen again. Talking about incidents, has there been any more news or updates with the NG in China that crashed? That was, thoughts and prayers with those on board, all the family members involved, but it crashed under very unusual circumstances. Interesting to see what happens, what comes out of that. Emil, maybe I asked this somewhere else, but what do you think of the level up 737 compared to the Zebo? Yeah, the level up 7.3, the sounds are great, textures are better. The flight model is just nowhere near as good as the Zebo mods. It just needs heavily modifying. The Zebo mod flight model is very, very good. Very, very good. The level ups, I basically type it. I always say this: type in this, type in that. I'll get the link to my level up video, and just all you need to do, you don't need to watch the full video. It was a stream we did on our first ever flight, but just check out the pinned comment, and that's my kind of just feedback on the level up 737. Grab the video, and I don't think they've updated it yet. It's been out for the best part of 3 or 4 months, and it still is on the original version. I think they've been talking of updating it for a while. That video's had over 75,000 views now. It's crazy for a stream. Here's the link for that, and have a look at the pinned comments. Captain X, did Zebo stop updating the 7.3? Had a bit of a break because I think work caught up with him, but no, there's updates coming out. I think he had a few issues with some recent updates, bugs and things. This aircraft should be out tomorrow, guys. It'll be available in Sim Market for €75.
Welcome.
Is that all you can hear there? Ernie module, what you can hear is the trim. Oh, no, not the trim, sorry, the auto throttle. That's the auto throttle making constant changes. And if you listen to MD-8 videos, you can hear that as well. Every time it moves, you get this sort of electronic whirring sound. There it is. There we are, top of descent's now come up on the cruise page. 110 miles. Not long to go, about 15 minutes. We'd probably best get set up for our approach. Probably be at night time by the time we get down there. Into Bastia as we fly over the Alps there. Look at that. Look at the lens flare as well. Flash guys, if you are enjoying the video, don't forget to like it as well. It does help the channel out an awful lot. I do appreciate the support again. Liking it is one way to help. If you ever want to come back and see my first ever stream with the MD-80, you can look at your live videos, and here it will be. 110 miles. I haven't had a quiz yet. No, we need an MD-80 quiz, don't we? Yeah, maybe. We don't do quizzes that often now, but maybe for the next MD-80 stream we can squeeze in a quiz. Hi Taylor, I have to go. Thanks for adding a highlight to my work day, but a business meeting calls. Catch you up on the replay. Thanks a lot for popping in, buddy, and thanks for your donation as well. Really appreciate it. Right, so let me just get rid of the music for a second whilst we start setting up for this approach. So I'll get the PDF tutorial up as well, so it covers most of the items I need to include. Oh yeah, we did cruise EPR, that's fine. Autopilot. The tutorial I'm using isn't the one included with the aircraft, it's one online. It's just called the P3D Leonardo MD80 guide. It's a great tutorial and it has lots of pictures and photos and explanations about all the systems. Great to learn the aircraft. And it has all the different parts of what you need to do. So, jumping into the FMC, 250 below 100. Same as a 737. Maybe if I put 250/100. Nope, I'll just leave it at 240 below 100. That's what the 737 FMS also defaults to, which is quite cool. Forecast winds, you can put them in. I guess this will have a slight impact on how VNAV calculates its top of descent point, but they can all be inserted. Let's grab the operational flight plan. So 310, 035 at 22. There we are. And we have 038 at 20. How do I turn up the lighting on the FMC? 038 at 20. And 100, 018 at 12. Next question, MD80 experts. How do I put fix rings, distant fix rings in the FMS? I've been trying to work it out since I've got this aircraft. I can see how you can put in the runway, but you can select radials, but I can't put fix rings. I don't know if that's just not implemented or modelled, or there's just a unique way of doing it in the FMS. For example, I can put the runway we're landing on, so if I go here to legs, excuse me, runway 34, so I can line select key that, fix, runway 34, and I can put radials in, but distances, if I put /10, it just doesn't accept them. Gonna be over generous. So, there's Milan, I think, down below, yeah. Not quite, no further south perhaps. I don't think you can in the MDs. Okay, thanks Briggy. In that case, I will delete that. Don't need them. I just like it because it increases situation awareness. Oh, invalid delete. Maybe erase. There we go. That's it. Sent forecast, rings. Let's have a look at the approach here and step through it, make sure we're happy with that. Actually, sorry, I'm jumping all over the place here. Let's grab the Navigraph charts. So we're going to be coming in via Liga, and then we have a restriction at Tortu to be at below flight level 140. That is coded in the FMS, and we have a little bit of a level segment for a short while before it then continues its descent towards the beacon. We've got a QT, Aviri, Milno, and then Next page, Bravo Tango Alpha, and that is the Bastia VOR 1415. So we'll get that tuned now, 1415. Now for the courses, if you're conventional navigation, you have the inbound radial here 147 tuned, but we've got an FMS. What we're going to do is set the courses for the approach 340. So 340, and actually I'll have the VOR active on this side. So yeah, let's have the ILS here 11135 because I'm going to use that autopilot 1, and we'll have the VOR this side 1415 for the procedural approach, and we'll just leave the course on 340 this side as well. Yeah, the battery on the iPad does deplete as well. I don't actually have to recharge it. Hope it doesn't go dead. So high check at NDB at 2,400 feet. So there it is on the approach, 2,400. There it is. And that's the platform altitude and the final approach fix. So when we're over the final approach fix, which is also the NDB, we can start our descent onto the ILS. So that's 369. There we are. 369 is active. We can select on the RMI ADF as an option. A little bit too far away for that. Oh yeah, I might as well use the terrain. That's oh wow, look at that. Very Space Invaders-esque. Well, we've got no weather radar, so we might as well use terrain radar. That's pretty cool. So yeah, it is an overlay RNAV sort of as well. We're flying a procedural ILS, but we can utilise the FMS if it's coded to sort of fly the approach for us. So, flying over the VOR, 1415, we need to go outbound on the 147 radial until a distance of 13 miles. So we have 147, India. India is the 13th letter of the alphabet, so we know that's coded as 13 miles. We're then going to make a left turn onto the extended sense line for the localizer. Now, I've been using heading select. I've found that the aircraft, not so much in the NG, but certain aircraft, they sort of like to cut the corner in slightly, so I might just use heading select to increase the angle of bank myself to 15 degrees, and it's max 200 knots for that turn as well. So when we're outbound here, we'll start slowing down the aircraft to ensure that we're sort of 180 knots for the inbound turn. That will work out quite nicely. I is the 9th letter of the alphabet. Sorry, my bad. Yeah, so my bad. Yeah, India for the 9 DME point. India's the 9 DME point. My bad. So 9 DME, which is here, we can go from 352, 3,400, 9 DME, we can go down to 2,400. Just testing you, Lauren. Well done. Yeah, well done. You win the prize here. Where's my oops. There we go. Right, left turn after India, 9 DME. 9 DME India, we can go down to 2,400. 13 DME, that's the 13 mile point. We can make a left turn, CI34, 2,400. Let's just go next page. Yeah, we've got the FI34, so that's the NDB pretty much. So actually, I want to change this to at or above, just to give us a little bit more of a CDA if we want to use VNAV. There we go. Now it's executed. And ILS is tuned 11135 with the tracks already sorted. Final approach fix at 2,400. The ILS is 3 degrees. Doesn't seem to have the descent path in the FMS here. It might be just a thing with the MD80 FMS. But the minimums will set 266. So I'm going to set 266 on the altimeter using this little bug. But to ensure amusing sounds approaching minimums, we're going to set the decision height as well. Usually decision height is associated with my operator for Cat 2, Cat 3 approaches, but we'll set 240, and then you get a really cool zzz approaching the minimums. It's wicked. So yeah, I just want to set that to show you the sounds. So frequencies, courses, minimums, sets, and if we have to go around, let's talk about the go around procedure for the MD80. So we push toga, which I have assigned on a button on my thrust levers. We're going to push toga, rotate up to 20 degrees, verify go around on the FMAs and the thrust setting, raise the landing gear for positive rate climb. We're going to ensure EPR is in the go around thrust setting, and we're going to retract the flaps to 15. That's the go around flap setting. And then we're going to climb straight ahead towards the VOR, Bastia. Once we're at the VOR, it's a right turn to fly outbound on the 003 radial, to 2,500 feet at 7 DME, which is here. We're going to make a right turn, max 185 knots, so we might just hold the slats out, or maybe flap 1 or 18, just for that initial turn, and then fly back to the beacon, and then we'll enter the hold, which is, as published here, 166 left-hand turns, and then we'll fly the hold, and then we'll have another go on the approach. So that's the plan. That's the plan. Right, so we've discussed the approach, frequencies, courses, minimums, DMEs required, mandatory PAPI on this runway, and the missed approach we've briefed as well. Right, so landing performance. Landing distance available beyond the glide slope is 2,200 metres. We'll plan to vacate at the exit here onto the Echo taxiway. Let's have a look at our landing calculations. So over to the OPT. It's getting dark now. Let me just get my lighting sorted in here before it gets too dark. I can't see anything. Yeah, this little rotary knob here is the lighting for the MCP. There we go. Lighting for the pedestal. Where's that? Ah, that's better. A little bit of ooh, don't need that much floodlighting. There we go. Night lighting in this is superb. Landing performance then. Let's go to performance. Landing. We're landing at Lima Foxtrot Kilo Bravo. Try. Let me just get the METAR using live weather today. Live weather, live time. Don't like changing time and weather. It ruins the immersion. Bastia 340 at 5 knots. No, 310 at 4. It's CAV OK. Beautiful evening to go flying. 310 at 4. Look at this. It's almost like I was on this. Wish I was on this aircraft in real life. 17 degrees. Additional reference 5 plus 5 is fine. A little bit of a tailwind. We can take that. So, oh no, that's because it's 3-4. Doop. Flap we're going to use is 1128. Yeah, 1128. QNH is 1029. No, it's not. It is 1019. Order brake, we'll try medium. Reverse, yes. Calculate. There we are. So, factored landing distance is 2,000 metres. Actual landing distance will be 1,700. Remember, we needed 2,200, so that's more than sufficient. And these are our speeds. We've got an up speed of 233. V-man, what is it? Manoeuvre, it'll be manoeuvre speed. 0 extended slats. These minimum manoeuvre speeds, I guess. So bear that in mind. And our final approach speed, flap 28, will be 143 plus 5, 148. So, we'll go here to landing. Landing data. Landing weight's going to be about 55 tonnes. The speed should translate there, and if I click this, then this again, it should update my speed. So the last bug, V-fly of 128, flap 28 is 138 knots. So there you go, that's that bug here. So we can play it back to plus 5 knots. There we go. Briefing's all complete, landing performance done as well, and look at this weather. Absolutely glorious. Oh, did I not put the landing weight in? That might help. Oops. 394. Ooh, got a message here in the FMS. MCDU message. Reset altitude. Right, let's step down to that restriction then. 140. And I'll push it to ensure it's armed. And let's work out our landing weight. So destination is 39. We have 5 tonnes on board, so we're going to burn a tonne off our current landing weight. So 55.4. I thought it presumed it calculated automatically. 55.4. Slightly less. Perfect. I'll leave it exactly as it is, about the same. I think what it does, if you don't insert anything, is probably uses your actual weight. There we are. Checks complete. All ready for top of descent. The timing of that was perfect, as is this sunset, because I'll spend a little longer on the ground showing you this aircraft. It's going to be night by the time we get down, but that's not a bad thing. This sim looks just as good at night as well. There's our top of descent point. 17 knot tailwind at the moment. Saying lock failed because we've got the ILS tuned, and we're just out of range of the VOR at the moment. Sunset approach. Oh, it'll be dark. You know, the sun's already set down there. Oh look, there's Geneva, isn't it? I always forget the name of this place. Genoa. Beautiful Genoa at sunset. There's the airport. Now we are top of descent, ladies and gentlemen, in chat. We have commenced our descent. We are in a VNAV descent, a nav track, so it's going to follow this vertical profile. And VNAV is working to put us level at flight level 140 at Tortu, and then it should have a little bit of a level segment. That 140 restriction leaves us quite low. There's lots of stars to you then. Lucian, you're a competent pilot. Congrats, thank you for sharing your experience with us. Ooh, not sure what my colleagues would say. Thanks, buddy, appreciate it. It's been a wonderful flight so far. Love these deep purples. It's a little more purple than perhaps I think you'd get, but you can get nice like this. Look at the sun on the fuselage. Looks amazing. There we are. So I believe VNAV VNAV in the MD80 isn't quite like it is in the 7.3, so it is sort of doing an idle path descent, and the thrust is pretty much closed, but it will add thrust as required to maintain your target descent speed. NDMZ honestly sounds like bothering me too much. The systems seem absolutely amazing. Yeah, I think systems modelling is very, very good. I mean, I've not really explored it in much detail. I've just been following the PFD checklist, but I'm sure if you were to delve into those systems a little deeper, it'll be all well modelled for sure. No data available for food. What are we serving today? I don't know, crepes? I flew over France. It was Genoa, yeah, we flew over Genoa about 4 or 5 minutes ago. Just here. There goes the sunset. Now, sometimes what can happen in sunset when you're flying is as it just dips below the horizon, you get something called the green lantern. Have you ever heard of this, guys? So just below, as soon as the sun dips below the horizon, as the last bit of light gets refracted from the atmosphere, you get this bright green light. Oh, that's amazing. Look at that. It's, I don't think that the atmospheric modelling is that good, but it's still pretty good. But you sometimes get a bright green light shoot up just before it goes below the horizon. I think it's Green Lantern or the green thing. And it used to be people sailing ships, you know, hundreds of years ago. They used to think it was a spirit or some sort of omen or something like that. Green flash, yeah, that's it, Ernie. The green flash. Thank you. Sorry, Green Lantern. Where am I getting that from? But no, you see it often when you're flying on certain days when it's very cloudy, or certainly. Oh, sorry, not very cloudy. When it's very clear, you get this bright shooting green light. It's really cool. But you've got to be careful. Nobody's staring at the sun, but it's really cool. Oh, you saw the green. I don't think I saw any green there, buddy. But they do have a very cool. Well, you guys, you wait till I get on the ground. And what I'm going to do, we're going to increase the humidity, so you get a sort of see the humidity in the air, and the lighting and the atmospheric modelling is so good in this sim actually with regards to humidity. It looks epic. I was so impressed with it. I was like, wow, looks amazing. Yaroslav, I've always been confused. Why does the compass look so odd on the MD80? Today I found it. Yes, it's behind you. That's why I've got the little mirror up. But I don't think that reflection's modelled. Where is it actually? Isn't it back here, or is it like a little pop down? I don't know if any of that's modelled here. But yeah, the compass is behind you. There's a great video on YouTube of an MD80 pilot going through all the quirks of the MD80. Anyway, yeah, just to show you then, VNAV doing a great job holding our target speed with pretty much idle thrust. And it's looking like, we'll just increase the range here. is going to put us right level at our restriction. At Tortu, let me just increase the scale again. Look at that, the green banana is just, well, it's just after Tortu, but that's just because of the car speed. It should come just before it. It's behind the FOC. Oh, it's getting dark, I can't see. Is it pop out or something like that? Maybe it's up there. I don't think it's modelled. Yeah, it's a beautiful cockpit. The mirror points at the other mirror behind the FO, which points at the compass in the ceiling. Ridiculous. Who thought that was a good idea? Bill Brown, have you seen a UFO? Cards that? No, I've not seen a UFO. I have a story, but I won't. I'll tell you that for another day.
Welcome.
Thanks for subscribing there, Morgan. Hope you're doing well. And there is Corsica on the horizon. An identified first officer. Brilliant. Enric, are the CBs modelled? No. That's classified. All questions must be submitted to law firm of Fullerton Smith & Waters. Absolutely.
50,
GTA 5
40,
Wrestling? Yes.
30.
The flashlight,
20,
Altel, isn't it?
10.
There you go. Look, that's so cool. Thanks, Captain Awesome, for the £1 donation. That was very kind of you. It says, normally I don't get to watch your streams live,
50,
as they're in the middle of the
40,
night in Australia. However, I'm in the
30,
UK this week, and it's been a
20,
privilege to watch live. Thank you
10.
very much, Captain Awesome, for your £1 donation. Glad you can watch it live. Long way from Australia, buddy. Cheers, Unknown Gamer.
Hey Cap.
Hello.
Finished early from work just to watch the stream.
Oh, thank you very much. I hope you don't get in trouble with your employers. Thank you very much, Unknown Gamer, for your £4.50 donation. Nice of you to pop in, and I hope you enjoyed as well. Thank you very much. Algorithm, have you ever been escorted by fighter jets? No, and nor do I want to. Don't want to be that guy. In real life, A320 pilot, what airline are you captain for? That's something I don't disclose publicly, and John and Andy are on it. Thank you very much, guys. I am well within my rights to disclose it. My operator allows me to stream and give me full permission. Very grateful for that. I just choose to wish to remain anonymous. Thank you very much for your understanding. Thanks, Unknown Gamer. Stream is live stream is love. Lovely. NDMZ, it's interesting that the VS window is open. Yeah, that's a quirk with the MD80. It always shows you, even in VNAV, what your present vertical speed is in the window. But if I was to select vertical speed as a pitch mode, it would then command that vertical speed. So approaching 1 to go here. We've got VNAV cap, so it's going to level off to make that restriction. Look at that. Tor 2, 1 mile to go, 140. Spot on. Maybe a tiny weeny bit high. Tiny weeny bit high. Should be bang on 140 there, but that's me being super critical. There we go. So it looks like VNAV is actually commanding a further descent here. So, let's have a little look at our chart. Minimum altitude is 5,200, okay, so we're not going to go all the way down there. So what I'm going to do is just set flight level 80. And yeah, let's demonstrate some of the other modes. So if I was to now select vertical speed, which is here, you get vertical speed, and the autothrottles maintain the speed on the MCP window, 284, and then I can actually control my vertical speed directly now by just winding the window. And remember, this is the FMAs, this is what the flight directors are commanding. That's what's really important to keep an eye out on. So what I'll do, I'll use VS to sort of plonk myself back on the vertical profile, increase the rate of descent manually. Obviously, if I set an excessive rate of descent, the autothrottle will do its best to command that speed, but when it's at idle, it can't do any more than that. In real life, A320 pilot, well, my Steam is hacked, so no explain for me. Also, how do you get them lovely liveries, aka yours? Do I need to donate or something? You don't need to donate in real life A320 pilot for my liveries at all. If you have a look at any of my streams, keep a close eye on the voice chat, and you might see someone have used the link request in chat for that. If you're desperate for delivery, you always comment on the video and I'll happily provide the link to that. Anyway, there we are. I'm just using vertical speed to get back on the vertical profile. Let's just set 1,000 feet per minute, and then once we're back on profile, we'll go back to VNAV. In fact, if I select VNAV now, actually I want to get back on profile first. Let's do VS 500. And I think on the progress page, no, the descent page, there you go, it shows you how many feet low or high you are on the vertical profile. Don't you need to arm altitude again? Thank you very much. That is just one of those MD80 quirks. Thanks guys, keep at it. You are my eyes and ears, my virtual first officers, all of you. God, it is going to be a nighttime approach, guys. Let's increase the lighting again in here slightly. Ah, that's better. So I've got a little bit of red terrain. Oh no, that's a lock fail flag. There you go, 7.7's the highest terrain displayed at the moment. So back on the vertical profile, let's utilise VNAV again, and that way it'll also command a lower speed for us as well. 250 below 100. Vlogs, will you be getting the Phoenix? I happen to know someone at Phoenix, so maybe well, that's very nicely. I'll be able to preview their upcoming Airbus, but I fully recommend the Airbus streamers for the ultimate content, but I know you guys always love when I jump into an A320. Dennis Jackson, ours at American Airlines had auto-land. I think this has full simulation of auto-land as well. There we are. So this VNAV profile now is a quite idle path. Oh, it's actually updated now massively. 700-800 feet low. Okay, so VNAV's probably just going to command a very gentle rate of descent to recapture the profile. Just changed. It's coming back in now. Anyway, oops, we should probably put the seatbelt sign back on. No smoking on. And I'll do the post-cruise check. So fuel, we have 4.6 tonnes on board. Lights. Oh, look at this! Look at that! There's a little bit of humidity in the air. Can I just do that again? I just love that so much. Sorry, just being a little child here at the moment. So there's the lights being retracted. Just one more time. That is wicked. That is so good. That is so good. We do love to see flight deck to sim fly at Airbus. I know, Yaroslav. That's just wicked. Anyway, passing 9.6 now. Speed's dropped off a little bit. It's be adding thrust now. Short onto the speed there. It should be maintained 240 knots. It's adding thrust to recover that. And we're inbound to Bravo Tango Alpha. We'll be there at 1847.6. Oh no, that's inbound to Milno. Oh no, I think that's... yeah, that's the next waypoint, isn't it? There's Corsica. Which Cessna is this? Liam, isn't in real life, is this approach at night allowed because of terrain? I don't think it's no problem at all. Most complex approaches are available at night. You just got to stick to the procedural approach, you know, don't deviate. So no, this isn't... there is terrain. It's very important you stay there. But the MSA, yeah, very high in this sector, look 10,500, which obviously we're below. But if you stay on your arrival and respect the minimum altitudes, you'll be fine. Right, well imagine we've got clearance to descend down to 5,200. So we're going to set 5,000. Then you have to hold the tab key on your keyboard to set 100-foot increments. But that is now set. And what's the transition altitude here? By ATC. 6,200. Okay. Well, I can set the QNH now manually. It is 1019er. So 1019er. 1019er. Oh, it syncs them. That's cool. I like the fact it syncs them all. So that's set. Just the standby. Nick that out of a 737. So passing 8,200 for 5,200 feet, and standby altimeter set. Excellent. Ah, Aviation Pro is here. Hello, I haven't seen you for a long time. How's your flight training going? Guys, if you want tips and trips for VATSIM, even I used Aviation Pro's videos. When I was new to streaming, I had to use his videos to work out how VATSIM worked. I'd never used VATSIM before. Really good, very informative. Go check them out. It's nice to see you here, buddy. And let us know how you're doing your flight training. Looks really beautiful at night. I know, just look great. So still trusting VNAV, sending us a nice shallow descent. Maintaining 240 knots. And we're approaching the beacon. We've already got the RMI pointing towards it, 15 miles to run. Got it set up to Jim's side, remember the ILS is on box 1. And don't forget, we are going to fly a missed approach. Okay. Remember, I don't fly this aircraft. It's not going to be perfect, but just to demonstrate to you how it works in this aircraft, it works really nicely. All the flight director guidance and commands seem to be spot on. The thrust settings, and then we'll enter the procedural holds and then have another go at another approach to a landing. There you go, I'm back. Did I miss anything? We're just about to start the procedural approach, as you saw yesterday. Now for real, with many more people watching. A lot of high terrain around, so you've got to be very careful of that. Respect your minimum altitudes. That's what's most important. Don't forget to arm the altitudes as well. So minimum altitude 5,200. Switching to the ILS chart now, and then once we're past the beacon, we can go down to 3,400 feet. There is the airport ahead. What were your landing rates during the test stream? So I've got the new Streamlabs, well Streamlabs already had it, but I have turned it on for Microsoft Flight Simulator. I don't think it's as accurate as the one in X-Plane because it actually looks at your rate of descent based on your IVSI. So if you're climbing, say on an upslope, it'll give you a much better landing rate, but it gives you a rough idea. Indeed, it did the testing to go perfectly. Well, it didn't go too badly. Right, so I'm going to help myself out here by pushing FMS override, and now I can bug and control the speed manually, because remember, I want to bring the speed back for this procedural approach, and what I'm going to do is bring it back to 200, and then I will select slats when we go outbound from the beacon. Drag required, okay, that's understandable, so I think it should work with my speed brake. There you go, so that's all modelled. Speed brake's extended. Will help bring our speed back to 200 knots. And when we're 1 mile away, we can step down to the next altitude. Cav okay here. Right now, 16 degrees. Beautiful. Craving butter. So the auto throttle is adding thrust, so I can now stow the speed brake. And with 1 mile to go, we can now step down to the next altitude, which was, always double check the charts. Why that's not coming up, I don't know. Thanks. 3,400 feet. So 3,400 feet is set. I'm going to reselect VNAV. And that's all good. We're overhead the airport now, overhead the beacon, and we're outbound on the next radial for the VOR. Looks like a bit of a temperature inversion. Looks very humid down there. Look at that. Oops. so we've got the RMIs back up. We've checked the charts. We're outbound on the 147 radial. Obviously using the nav mode. You can see the tail of that needle's on 147 as well. Yeah, I can't wait for the Atari minimum sound and also the build-up as we approach minimums as well. It's wicked. So we're essentially waiting for two things now. We're firstly waiting for 9 DME. From 9 DME we can step down to 2,400, and then 13 DME will make a turn left onto the localizer. Are the stars modelled correctly in Microsoft Flight Simulator? Or are you talking about the stars outside or the arrival early? Don't forget to on the altitude. Thanks, guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Right, we're going to... Oh, look at my speed. My speed's ran off, actually. Right, let's get the speed brake out again. What happened to my speed? There we go. I can actually select slats up below 280 knots, which is really cool. So we're going to select slats now. Speed just ran away there for a second.
Slats extended.
There we are, speed's coming back under control. I'm going to bring that back all the way to 180. Remember, it's a maximum of... What was that turn?
Landing gear.
Why landing gear? I've only got slats out.
Landing gear.
Really?
Landing gear.
I think it's because the thrust is idle, that's why.
Landing gear.
Right, let me get another natural flaps out, and I think as soon as the auto throttle starts adding thrust,
Landing gear.
it'll stop moaning at me. I think it's because I'm at idle thrust here. Ooh, it's not commanding the speed.
Landing gear.
There we are. So out hold, it's just levelling off at that platform altitude. Yeah, it's because the thrust is idle with flaps out. So it has come down nice and low. We're just waiting for 9 DME to step down to 2,400. There's the 9 DME. So down to 2,400. And now I'm just going to use vertical speed. And just a nice gentle, I don't know, just 300 feet per minute onto the ILS. Oh, very sensitive. There we are. And the auto throttle, I want it to command 180 knots. So we might just get the landing gear call again as it goes to idle. But as soon as it's back to the speed and the thrust comes up, it'll be fine. We've got the flaps extended to 18 or 11 at the moment. 11. There we are, so just waiting for the 13 DME. We're at 11.7, so we're about to start that turn there. Arm the altitude again, thank you. that is just so difficult to remember. Did I say left turn? Right turn, Andy, right turn. By pressing speed, it sent it into out hold and speed hold. Thanks, Bad Echo. See, these are the differences between me and the 7.3. And the traps I can fall into. Right, so we're doing the base turn, 180 knots, gentle descent. There's the ILS alive. We'll just wait for the localizer alive as well. So what I'm going to do is just make sure that bank angle's set to 25. Give myself a bit of an intercept heading. And I'll probably utilise heading select to intercept this ILS here. We do 310, that's a 30-degree intercept. I'll just let it continue the turn. Spoiler flaps extended. I also need to go down here and do a few things. I need to ensure that we have go around arms. I need to put the hydraulic pumps to high and on here as well. Beautiful. Right, let's arm the speed brake. And we're going to go heading select. Where are you? Heading select. Oh yeah, you have to pull it, don't you? There we are, heading select. And now I'm going to arm forelock. Forelock is armed, and hopefully... Oh, look at that. You can't teach that. I'm on the ILS. Yeah, boy. Oh, love it. Vertical speed. Let's just increase the rate of descent. Oh, just some stuff you can't teach, guys. Localizer capture. Runway heading 340 set. Going to start slowing down as well. And ILS, glide slope capture, missed approach altitude, remember we're doing a missed approach today, is 5,200 feet. 5,200 feet, so, oh yes, this is going swimmingly. Right, I'm actually going to configure nice and early here, so gear down, and And we can go to flaps. Oh, look at the nose light coming down, guys! This is wicked. Flaps to 28, which is selected, and we'll set our final approach speed, which is 136 plus 5, so let's do 141 knots. There we are. So landing checklist, star switches, recall, there's nothing up there, speed brake is armed, auto brake we said is going to go to arm, which you have to have the gear down for it to work, medium, arm, set, landing gear, down 3 green, auto brake set, flaps 28, green light, lights are on, checklist is complete. This approach has gone far better than the test sector, very, very happy. Right, so remember, we're going to execute a missed approach just to demonstrate how it works really well in this aircraft. So when I go around, I've got it mapped here on my throttle quadrant to work. We'll do this at minimums. I'm going to climb straight ahead to the Bastia VOR. Once we're there, 003 outbound, right turn to beacon, maximum 185 knots for that turn, and then back to the VOR, we'll enter the hold and then have another go at the approach. Otherwise, we're all good here. Excellent. That auto throttle is extremely annoying, so you know what I'm going to do? Pop on yoke cam, disconnect the auto throttle. Unfortunately, that mapping doesn't work. So there we are, auto throttle's disconnected. I'll push it again to stop the blinking light. So it's my thrust now. So adding thrust here. Just leave the autopilot in for a little while longer. Don't get too low on the speed here. Just going to get a nice position here for the approach. And that's all looking good. Alright. Crank up the sounds of Microsoft Flight Simulator because it is a quiet aircraft by default. There we go. So auto throttle's disconnected. Go around is armed. And we'll now disconnect the autopilot, which I think is mapped here. Yeah, we are. Autopilot disconnected, all working. So there we are. My aircraft all stable at the approach speed, which is about 140 knots. That's checked. Remember, go around. At minimums, are going to initiate a go around. A little bit zoomed in here. It's very slow and roll. Oof, very, very wallowy. We'll have to make big inputs here. But we are flying slow here. Feels like an airplane, a much bigger aeroplane than the 7.3. Okay, looking good. Otherwise, it handles nicely. I'm quite trim here. It's a little bit high, so 3 whites. Just going to increase that rate of descent. Remember, 4 reds, that's too low. At minimums, you get 4 reds. At the stabilised approach criteria, you've got to go around. 4 reds is too low. Even if the flight director's command, it's the pappies are king. You must follow those pappies. Certain approaches, the ILS can put you higher low depending on what aircraft you're in. So a little bit high again. Approaching minimums. Where's my go around button? There it is.
Minimum.
So go around.
200.
Adding go around thrust. A little bit too much there. A little bit too much thrust there. Positive rate of climb. Gears coming up. Flaps to 15. Onto the flight directors. And trimming nose down. The same in the 7.3. You have to do that. Speeds on target. And this is where it differs a lot probably from my operator. So what I'm going to do here is select nav track. So that's going to follow the missed approach procedure. Looking good. There's 1,000 feet. So I'm going to get the autopilot in here just to help me out. Autopilot's in. And we've got probably not quite enough thrust here. Let's add a little bit more thrust there. Yeah, I've got nowhere near enough thrust. There we are. That's full go around thrust set. So what I can actually do is put on the auto throttle APR go around. There we are. So I'm going to leave it at flat 15. Let's make sure we have flat 15. Oh, no, I think I might have done an extra natural flaps there.
Minimums. Approaching minimums.
And we're just going to leave it climbing up at this speed here. Now, at some point, you'd accelerate the aircraft as well. So what I'm actually going to do... Now, this is where it'll probably differ a lot with the MD80 Yeah, remember the engines are back, so it seems to me you're not trimming it. I was trimming it there, Beer Lamb. I've got the trim on my yoke here. I don't know how the thrust pitch couple is on this aircraft though. So we're going to now, this is where we'll differ slightly from the correct procedure, I think. We're going to go vertical speed, start lowering the nose to 1,000 feet per minute, leave the auto throttle in EPR go around, so we can allow the aircraft to accelerate. Remember, it's 5,200 to stop altitude. That is armed. We're following the missed approach beautifully. And now I'm going to select speed. No, not that's too low a speed there. Remember, it's 185 knots, stabilising the motion. So that's the maximum speed for the missed approach. A little bit fast there. And I'm going to retract now to slats. Now, this is... Why was it a go? Just to test it, Ben Hun. It's just to demonstrate it here. So there's the missed approach. We're established outbound. It's flying it very nicely indeed. Outbound on the 003 track. We're now going to wait until 7 DME. And remember, that turn is max 185 knots. Max 185 knots. So I've bugged 185. And I'm just going to leave the flaps. Ooh, maybe I can go to 5. Maybe I can go to 5. I'll leave the flaps there just to ensure the aircraft doesn't come out. And there's 5,200. Missed approach. Flown really nicely. My initial actions perhaps were correct, but afterwards probably not so much there. But I've levelled off, maintaining 185 knots for that turn. I've got speed mode, nav track, out hold, happy with that. And then we can do the after takeoff checklist. So I'll leave the hydraulics where we are, leave the information in the FMS, and we've got the hold page here. So what it'll do, it'll go into the hold automatically as it mentions in the FMS, and it'll hold perfectly, and it's just like the 737 FMS. So there's the DME there, 7 miles exactly, starting the turn back to the missed approach point to enter the hold. I saw the EGT flashing. I'm pretty sure those engines spotted. Nothing to see there, Sky. But what do you think, guys? It flies go-arounds really well, and I must stress, I'm not an MD-80 pilot. I don't know the exact actions calls, flap retraction sequence. I followed it in a way similar to the 737. The only thing is I engaged the pilot during the go-around, which in my operator we don't do until the missed approach altitude. We hand fly our go-around single channel. Yeah, very pleased with how that worked. Brilliant. So, just to keep the show on the road here, if you do a go-around, enter the hold, first thing we do is contact cabin crew. You know, say, oh guys, this is why we went around, weather, cow on runway, you know, whatever the reason was. Then we're going to reassess the fuel. Okay, remember, we took minimum fuel stay, and we're already down, approaching our reserves to divert to Fiumicino. 3.5 was required, we're down to 3.7. So we need to decide, you know, are we going to commit to arriving in our destination, so Bastia? And what was the reason for the ground? Was it weather? Well, we can't assure a landing. We're going to probably divert to our alternate where we know and have planned that we can land. We obviously practiced the go-around today, so I can assess it. Right, I'm happy to use my reserve fuel to commit to our destination. The reason for my go-around is because I wanted to practice go-around, and we can then use that fuel there to get it. Excellent. Reese Ivor Music, nice to see go-around procedure coded into the flight plan. I know that's a very basic level of simulation, but so few aircraft have that in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Yeah, it's working really well in this aircraft. One of the reasons I wanted to demonstrate it. Really. And take my word for it, I'm going to go straight into another approach here, but what it does, it'll enter the hold, and it holds perfectly. I did it on the test sector, I was really impressed. So you've got an aircraft that's completely usable on VATSIM for all those busy events to hold at. Right, so what I'm going to do is reselect the approach, exactly the same as the 737 FMS, and execute. We're now going to go to the legs page, and I'm going to skip out the holds, and I just need to select the procedure. Execute, go to the legs page, delete the holds by just going from BTA or the India point and deleting the hold there and executing. And what's going to happen is the aircraft, instead of holding, maybe not. Oh, what have I done? I know why. It should be at the top there. Execute. My bad. That was my dodgy executing. Now it's going to go from Bravo Tango Alpha and then straight outbound for another approach. Very, very nice indeed. Yeah, that cow fod. It's really hard to get out of the way. Oh dear, you never know what you can find on the runway here. Unbelievable. I don't have a moo on my soundboard, unfortunately. No cat. Oh, maybe if I type in this, it'll work. Could be rude, so I don't exactly. I'm not going to push it without testing it. Right. Very impressed with this aircraft. Right, we're going to maintain 180 knots with the procedure. With the flaps already extended, we then recalculate the landing performance. Let's go back to map. And there we are. Outbound over the VOR, repeating the approach again. So, once again, step down to 3,400 feet. And I'll select vertical speed. And I'll just do nice gentle descent at 400 feet per minute. There we go. Don't turn into the mountain. Absolute reason. These conditions, very important to be aware of your aircraft position. Make sure you stick to the procedure and only step down. You notice how I stayed at the missed approach altitude. I'm only once I'm established outbound safely on this radial. I know it's safe to step down to 3,400 because we know we're way below the MSA. There we go, looking over the wing. If you're a passenger looking backwards there, look at all that terrain. Actually, probably better from the first officer seat here. All that terrain over in that distance there, you've got to be well aware. Outer arm, thanks guys. There is an option actually with the aircraft. You can have it so it automatically arms if you're a little forgetful, like me. It would be quite useful for me, I think. Beautiful. Right, outbound we are. Should be a little bit close to that magenta line, maybe. Oh no, that's pretty much spot on. I think there might be a little bit of a crosswind from the left. Yeah, only a small one. I'll leave the heading as it is for the intercept again. Well, actually, I'll leave it on runway heading for now. There we are. Arm the speed brake. Oh, it's still armed. That's fine. 146 has just been released. There you go. Should we go straight into it, guys? No. That'll come again soon, guys. Excellent. Anon, I found out the hard way in the 172 that those mountains are very, very high. Ouch. Right, let's just... let's get dark now. I can't see the... There we go, map. The range has decreased. There we go. Yeah, multiple approaches, holding this aircraft, no problem. Very dark now as well. FPS is fine. NDMZ 50 to 60 FPS all day. Beautiful. That auto throttle though. Shut up! That was... Does that ever irk the pilots, I wonder? But they've probably got noise cancelling headsets on. Brilliant. You've also recalculated landing, but it will be better performance than before unless it started raining. I couldn't have picked a better day for this. Look at the weather here. Absolutely perfect. Live time, live weather. Love the humid air effect, the landing lights, amazing. Oh, Dina, yeah. And I'll show you on the ground the logo lights as well. It's super cool. Right, anyway, we can... I'm not concentrating here. Step down to 2,400. Just increase that rate of descent. Don't want to end up high. Yeah, 2,400. We're past 9 DME. Now waiting for the 13 DME for the turn on to final. And then the natural flops. And we're going to go to flap 15. There we go. Flap 15 set.
Stabilizer motion.
There we go. Stabilizer motion. Love it. Good, this aircraft is releasing tomorrow. I've got something to occupy. What do you think then, guys? Sounds, as we discussed, could be a little better, but the actual systems, modelling, and yeah, it's super. Absolutely super. Okay, a little bit low on the ILS here. So again, I'll just crank that heading round, give myself a nice intercept heading. That's the heading. Bank angle. I'd actually probably request an option to have the auto throttle noise muted. I know it's not realistic, but that would get on your nerves after a while. Right, give myself an intercept heading, so I'll just let nav continue to turn around. Go for CDAs onto the ILS every time. It's getting hard now because it's getting dark to see the buttons. You know what it also sounds like? It's one of those printers from the 90s. Oh dear.
Shut up!
Sorry for making you jump. Right, let's go heading for a second. Pull, arming forelock armed, yellow. Does the Maddog have a printer? Sounds like it. Want to go checked. On to the localizer. Lock capture. Arming ILS. Glide slope. It stays amber, but it is ILS captured. And we're going to bug our final approach speed again. I'm going to configure our gear down as well. We might just get a gear warning here. 135 knots. So I'm going to go to 140. Excellent. So gear down. Flaps to 28. Oop, did one too many there. That's 14. We'll go back to 28. And we can now arm the auto brake system again. Landing checklist. So start switches is done. No enunciations here. What's this here? Rudder travel unrestricted. That's probably a good sign. Speed brake is armed. Landing gear down to green. Auto brake is set. Flaps 28 with land green light. Lights are on. Checklist is complete. We are clear to land. Let's just get the aircraft all stabilised on its approach speed on the ILS. Let's see if we can finish the day on a butter. Looking good so far.
Stabilizer motion.
Yes, thank you, Betty. Milan, it's my beautiful Maddog in Microsoft Flight Simulator. I'm so stoked, yeah. It's been an awesome stream. Really, really fun. And the sim has been absolutely flawless so far. Right, let's disconnect that whiny auto throttle again. So auto throttle disconnected, my thrust. Just matching that up now to what it was at. Another push on here to cancel the warning lights. And it's like the 757, you have this speed trend vector. So white diamond is your target speed on the MCP. Low is slow, high is fast. So you can just react to that by adding thrust as required. Don't let it throw its nose up on final. I'll try more gas. Yeah, don't expect perfection here, guys. Don't expect perfection. Little crosswind as well. We've got 9 knots from the northeast there. So we did have a tailwind before. Right. Looking stable here on speed. Ready, guys? Disconnecting the autopilot. Autopilot disconnected. My aircraft. It's perfectly in trim here. Let me just actually get a slightly better view for me. It's rolling a bit to the right. That will probably be a slight difference in the thrust setting. A bit happy with that view there. There we go. I just want to see the PFD and engine instruments. There we go. Actually, I've assigned on here. It's my wrong hand, but I've got this beautiful thing that would be good for circle. And I can reset it. That's not good. Right, I was too busy faffing around with views, getting high and off localizer. Right, thrust off, back onto the flight directors. 3 whites, 1,000 feet per minute should do us. ILS is coming back in, speed's good. Waiting for that 2 reds, 2 whites. Don't start pulling up there. There we are, back on profile. You've still got the flight directors helping us. Adding thrust now as we pitch up to maintain our approach speed. Perfectly in trim. Remember the reversers on the thrust levers aren't working. Can't seem to get them to mapped at the moment on the... I couldn't get it for the MD-80. On another aircraft I could, but not on this one. So I'm going to use F2. So the flight director's telling me to fly right, but I'm pretty happy. Basically, look out the window, guys. Just look out the window. Don't be so staring at the instruments. The humidity in this sim. Look at it with the... That is so realistic. 3 whites, a little high. Back on profile. Lots of little changes. Very heavy, very heavy.
400.
It's all in trim though. A little high again, so making lots of little changes. There we are. That was a bit of an aggressive change. Approaching minimums.
Minimum.
That's a little high, 3 whites.
200.
Checked. No centerline lights here for black hole effect. Looking good.
100.
Checked. Keep descending now. Bit
50,
high.
40, 30,
Check.
20, 10.
Close. Hold the attitude. Oh, there's the nose going up. Come on. Come on. What was that? I don't even know what that was. Right, speed brakes up. We're down. Right, reverses. Right, reverses unlocked. 100. 80. Oh, those are good brakes. Manual braking. Cancelling reverse. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome for the first ever time Bastia
69.
on a live stream. What was it? I don't even know what the landing rate was. It doesn't come up on my screen. Amazing. We'll take the next right here. We made it. We go around and approach. Minus 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Get with the wicked. Can I get a whoop whoop? Who remembers that song? Don't get that with other flight sim streamers. Hope we don't get a copyright strike. Superb. Let's have a look here on the airport chart. There we are, vacating Echo. Just follow the taxiway round. That was glorious. Absolutely glorious. What a super duper stream. There we are. What's this with white light mean? I don't know. Check the brake temperatures in a bit. They're down here. Ah, a cool 100 degrees Celsius. Nothing to worry about here. Right, let's retract the flaps. Speed brake is stowed. Love it. The night lighting in this sim is mega. Wee. There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. Right, so trim we'd reset. Crank up that APU. Set the pumps off. Where are you, APU? APU master to start. Ooh, there's stuff here. Look on the FMAs. We'll turn the flight directors off now. We don't need them anymore. 973 up. I think that's just normal after landing stuff. Probes off. We can turn off the windshield anti-ice and anti-fog. That APU is starting up. And this is the lovely Orbeck scenery as well. Very nice flight and landing. Thank you very much, NDMZ. Guys, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like it as well. Massive 629 likes. Never good. I think we're going to reach 800 today. Still a great amount. There's the AP firing up. Yeah, I'm going to do this humidity stuff. Oh, honestly, guys, it is wicked. This is the beautiful Orbeck scenery as well. I'll have a quick look at this. Might just crank it up to daylight. We are live time, live weather for the entire stream. It's awesome. AP's available, so I'll put it on the bus. I think it only does that when the engine's shut down. Coming into the apron at a rate of knots. Retracts come off now. Park next to Voltaire, the 717. Let's take stand Alpha. Oh yeah, Alpha 7. Well, Alpha 6, isn't it? Yeah, we can squeeze in here. Using a little bit of differential thrust. Especially with the engines in the rear, will make such a difference. Definitely want a marshaller here to assist you around, that's for sure. Such a long aeroplane, gonna overshoot that line loads. Little bit overshot, but that's fine. Not bad at all. Actually, you know what? I'd say you can't teach that. Look at that. Oh. Then your marshaller would be panicking if you were coming in this quickly. Right, there we go. We'll bring it to a stop there. Parking brake is set. And we have the APU ready to go. APU power available. We can shut the engines down. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Bastia on the island of Corsica. There's the APU going on the bus as well. Beautiful. It's 420 knots, the same taxi speed, generic pilot one. Absolutely. Absolutely amazing. So, let's just finish off our little checklist here. Now we're on stand, anti-collision light can come off, voice recorder come on, and then we read our shutdown checklist, pretty much all good. So weather radar on. Just leave the AP running. Here we are. Here's drone cam. Aircraft was just superb today. Really happy with it. No problems at all. Nothing I could see that was wrong, or what would be classed as a bug. Just the only bug was me not operating the aircraft properly. Look at the cabin lights on in there as well. So cool. But guys, there's something I just want to show you here with the lighting in Microsoft Flight Simulator. It's just crazy. I saw this yesterday first time. So I'm just going to go here to weather, turn off live weather. I'm just going to put the humidity look up to maximum. So there you go, and we're going to make it rain. Actually, I think I just need to update the humidity again. No, there we are. So air is completely saturated. It's raining, and the rain will come here soon. And just look at the lighting. I just want to show you here. If I just pop on the retracts, look at the it's just
Welcome.
crazy, isn't it? Got to do some rough weather flying in this thing. Let me just jump into the cockpit again, because I want to show you this quickly. Let me just extend these. Ah! Look, look at this! It's just amazing. It's just like a movie. Oh yeah, because I've turned them off. Let me just get them retracted and then extend it again. Just watch this. It's dope is the right word for it. And not only that, I was looking at the logo lights yesterday, thinking, where are the logo lights for it? They're here. And look, you can see the little lights at the wingtip shining up onto the tail. It's something, isn't it? It is pretty amazing. And now, because it's raining heavily, look at all the standing water on the apron now. And you can see, look at the lights reflecting on the rain, but not in the shadow. It's pretty sick. Yeah, this is where you get Jim to do the walk around. Yeah, that's incredible. Absolutely crazy. And look at the reflections now of the aircraft in the wet ground. Just insane. So people were debating the textures and the external quality and things like this, but this is very... I've never seen anything like it. I mean, it's like a movie. You can almost smell the rain. That's exactly what Kat said yesterday. Anyway, look at the rain here. Unfortunately, the wipers don't wipe the rain, but I think that's, again, a limitation in Microsoft Flight Simulator that you put the wipers on. It's just static. But the rain on the windscreen itself looks mega. Oh, absolutely crazy. Tom, what liveries are included? Several. I don't know them, but if you look in my video description, there's a link to the official forums, and then you can register the forums, and then you can see all the liveries that are available there as well. Guys, that's it for today. I know I don't have a replay tool. I must look into that, because I know you guys always want to see replays and stuff, but I don't mind ending on stream, especially when you look at the weather conditions here. Crazy. Let me just turn the old sim down here slightly so we can sign out. Brilliant. Well, firstly, thank you very much to Stefano from Leonardo SoftHouse Designs for sending me their MD82 to preview before release. It should be available tomorrow. I believe that's the release date they're still sticking to. It will be €75 and it's available from the Sim Market store. It's a pricey aircraft, but you're getting a lot of aircraft for it, and we all know this is the sort of price we pay for high fidelity, accurate aircraft. And this is the best experience I have had to date in Microsoft Flight Simulator in a payware aircraft. Absolutely phenomenal. Really enjoyed the system immersion. We know the sounds probably aren't perfect, but if you want to enjoy flying an MD82 in Microsoft Flight Simulator in a realistic way, it's great. Yes, the flight dynamics, you know, it's just a sim thing. It's not the aircraft's dev's fault, but I prefer an X-Plane. But this aircraft is mega for Microsoft Flight Simulator. Give it a try. Excellent. So, what else I want to say? Thank you to everyone that donated for your generosity today. That was absolutely crazy. We haven't nearly hit 1,000 viewers at the start of the stream, which is awesome to see those sort of numbers again. And when the PMDG's here, we'll be doing lots of streams, but lots of questions about that today. I'll be able to give you my assistance with that once I get the aircraft in my hands. To all my members, thank you very much for the continued support. Really appreciate it. To all my regular viewers and subscribers, thank you very much for popping in. Don't forget to like the video to help the channel out, and subscribe if you want to stay up to date with the latest content. Guys, enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you all on another live stream very soon. Cheerio.